and carry.
Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey y'all, welcome to today's show. Happy Tuesday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news and hot topics. So if that is a show for you, definitely stick around because we got a lot of tea to spill today. So some of the things we're gonna be talking about in today's show. We're going to talk about Lady Gaga's Mayhem and where it landed on the thing. We'll talk a little bit about the iHeart, the charts and, was it Billboard. We'll also talk a little bit about iHeart Radio Awards. Like I watched a little bit of it. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but I saw it. Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour sales. We're going to talk about that because last week we talked about the fact that she was struggling. Now they're saying that she sold 94%. So we'll talk about that. Plus, Bad Bunny done stripped down his Calvins. He's literally the third Latino celebrity, I think, that is actually posed for Calvin Klein. First Puerto Rican, but third Latino. So we're going to talk about that. We got to talk about this Drake case. UMG is throwing buku shade against Drake in this whole Not Like Us lawsuit. Speaking of UMG, Iggy Azalea is slamming UMG, saying that, bitch, y'all need that, give me my money. Where my money at? Like, y'all withholding my money. Plus, we got to drag Yolanda Saldivar because they're out here trying to say that it's Selena's fault that she dead. So, we're going to get into that. Plus, there seems to be some fighting going on. The girls is fighting over there in the Braxton family household. Apparently, Toni Braxton pretty much alluded to the fact that I guess the sisters are fighting. Tamar clapped back because apparently it's her birthday. I did not know this girl was a freaking Pisces. Makes a whole bunch of sense on why she is the way she is. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Don Lemon is revealing that he was sexually harassed while working at CNN. He said for the 10 years he's been there, he's been harassed by both women and men. So we're going to get into that. Now, speaking of diddling with people that shouldn't be diddled with. We got to get into this story about Wade Robson speaking out about why he defended Michael Jackson back in the 2000s during one of his other trials, even though Michael Jackson allegedly diddled with his little booty hole when he was a kid. So we got to talk about that. Plus, we have to also talk about the co-founder of Nasty Pig is saying that the homosexuals need to fight back against his current administration. Out Magazine compiled together their Traitors season 4 cast. We'll sift through that and see if y'all agree or disagree. Some of them people I've seen in that list, I'm like, ain't no way in hell they even coming on the show. But it's wishful thinking. We'll entertain it when we talk about it. Plus, apparently, the rumored cast of RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World season 3 has dropped. It's a rumor, so we're going to peg it as that until it is official tissue on who they say the cast is. We'll go through the list of queens, who they saying is going to be on this new season, and we'll take it from there. So we have that and a whole lot more. So before we get to the topics, if you can please do me a solid and hit that like button and that subscribe button. So be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. We'll also be, I will also be putting in the timestamps once the live stream is done, so that way if you don't want to sit through the normal live stream banter that I, as well as the people that have watched the live stream and chime into the show, want to be keying and going through, then y'all can fast forward through it all and just get to the topics at hand. So let me hit my banner. And without further ado, let's get to our first topic. And let's talk about Miss Gaga and this Mayhem situation. Now, I know, congratulations to her. She did win one of the iHeartRadio Awards yesterday. What was it for, like Innovator or something or another? And I liked her speech. I'm glad that she thanked all the people that basically, if it wasn't for them, she wouldn't have a career like Grace Jones and David Bowie and Madonna and so many others. It's like, girl, we see those influences all over the music and the fashions that you wear, the music that you make, that sort of thing. Is like, literally, I mean, even if you listen to Killer, like, off her new album, that is a David Bowie song, Damn Boots. That's like David Bowie produced by Nine Inch Nails, or I should say Trent Reznor, because Trent Reznor is Nine Inch Nails. He pretty much is the whole band. He just goes under that name at this point. But anyway, so she got up there, gave her speech. It was cute or whatever. She presented her with the award. I didn't really watch the award show. I just saw a couple of the clips. Like I saw that one. I saw Mariah Carey looking about as stiff as ever. and not impressed by the people that was doing her tribute or whatever, because they only had 2 girls up there. Money Long, who girl, she was a miss. I like her. I like the influence that she has for a lot of songs that she has written for a lot of people, and particularly she is responsible for a lot of Ariana Grande's biggest hits. Let's be clear. And but no, she was struggling. She was on the struggle bus, but she was up there singing Mariah Carey songs, and Mariah looked like she did not. Mariah was giving RuPaul down to the T when she was sitting in that chair and just like, she don't move. The light has to be where it is, and then she even whined about the light. But I'm just saying all of this because it goes into the iHeartRadio thing. So yeah, she got up there, got her award. It was cute or whatever. Gaga got up there, got her award. Thanked her fans, thanked the gays, her usual. The same people that she always thanks, her fiance and all the people that are part of her team and the label. And so, yeah, so with it being Mayhem Mania right now, I guess we can give a congratulations to her because she's appearing on the Billboard Top 200 at #1. So her 7th studio album, shout out to Variety for this story, earns Gaga the biggest opening week for an album by a woman this year with 219,000 units earned per Luminate. Mayhem also granted Gaga her biggest streaming debut yet, launching to the summit with 108 million streams. Now, Gaga has had 5 of her solo studio albums debut at #1 on Billboard 200, including Born This Way, Art Pop, Joanne, and Chromatica, along with A Star Is Born. And I guess The Fame wasn't on there, The Fame Monster, because that's when she first started out. So it took a while for that album to go to #1. And people just started, people just discovering who she was. I remember like the first time I saw Lady Gaga, I saw her she performed on So You Think You Could Dance, and she performed Just Dance. She performed on So You Think You Could Dance, and that was the first, I was looking at her like, we hope this girl becomes a huge pop star. Like, she has the makings. I literally saw it in that moment. And look where she is today. So I can always tell in my gut of guts, I'm like, you know what? I'm really rooting for this girl to win. Now, all the other stuff aside that I said about her, this is before all the things that came down later on where it was like, okay, now you just out here just literally just Xerox copying everything somebody already done and trying to pass it off as your own instead of just using it as an influence and a springboard and just making it your own. I feel like she's gotten to that point now, but in the beginning it was a little rough. It was just like, sis, I see literally you are literally like just Xerox copying what I've already seen from other artists and trying to pass it as your own just because you got a little extra money that the label has thrown behind you. So that was my issue with her in the beginning. But now it's just kind of like, I warmed to her a lot more. It's like, okay, now she's kind of figured things out. She's in her groove, 7 albums in, and she seems more confident than ever and not just coming across as someone who has imposter syndrome. So now, they also said, so in addition to, like Born This Way, Art Pop, Joanne, Chromatica, A Star Is Born soundtrack, and Cheek to Cheek with Tony Bennett. So they said ahead of Mayhem's release, Gaga sold 14 different physical variants, including limited edition vinyl, CDs, and cassettes featuring the original cover art of Mayhem's 219,000 first week units. Album sales comprised 136,000 as the top selling album of the week. Vinyl purchases comprised 74,000 of that total, Gaga's career best total in vinyl sales. First of all, y'all out here buying vinyls, do they still make record players? Like, I'm from the era of, I grew up with a record player in my house. Like, my parents, I literally had vinyl. Like, we had everything. My mother had Michael Jackson. She had Tina Turner. They had any vinyl you could think of. My parents had it up in the house. So I'm aware of vinyl. I'm from the era of vinyl. I know a lot of you younger kids and stuff like Gen Z and Alpha, y'all look at it as like something vintage. Like, y'all go into the vintage shop to get like a pair of jeans. Or you just collecting it. But I'm just like, do they still make vinyl players? Because how y'all buy the vinyl? Are y'all actually playing it or y'all just have it as a collector? I don't know, because I don't think I've ever bought vinyl. Because my era, my generation, we were buying CDs. So I've never really bought vinyl. Vinyl is my parents' era. CDs is my era. So I know, and digital is y'all era. So it's like we always have different eras as the generations continue on the up and up. So I've never really bought a vinyl before. I mean, I would if I was a DJ, but for the most part, I've never bought a vinyl. But it makes sense why she would go #1. When you releasing like 8,000 different variants of the same record, And even on some of the records, you adding, on the website, you gotta get it off the website to get this track, and you gotta go into this thing to get off this track. So you were putting 3 different songs on other variants of your album. Of course, people are gonna buy up all those things. But you know what? We're not going to necessarily windmill too hard on her because she wasn't the only one doing it. Taylor Swift was notorious for doing it too. So if we're going to get on Lady Gaga, we're going to get on Tay-Tay and all the other ones that have been out here pulling stunts and shows just so that way they can sell those records. So now they say Gaga's highest charted Mayhem single is, of course, Abracadabra, because that is the most Gaga song on the whole record. That's the most radio-friendly pop track that you're gonna get that we've gotten from Gaga in a long time. So it is very much like when you listen to Abracadabra, that song literally sounds like a song that even if somebody else sang it, like, should I go there and be shady? Well, I wouldn't be me if I wasn't. If Ava Max was to go in and record this song and y'all didn't know Lady Gaga sang it, y'all would think it was a Lady Gaga track. So literally that's her sound. She's pretty much has her thing. And when you hear a song like this, like, that sounds very much like a song Lady Gaga was saying. So they said that, yeah, the singer premiered in a commercial break during the Grammys in February, also revealing during the record's March release date. The collection of danceful songs include the previous release singles, Disease, Abracadabra, and this is not a dance floor song, but why'd y'all even include it? They said Die With a Smile with Bruno Mars. At what part of that song can you actually do a 1-2 step? I'll wait. So how y'all have been Variety? What old person over here wrote this article? Because it's like, that's not a dance floor song. That's a song you actually just gonna stand behind a microphone and strum your fingers, on the guitar strings. Now, Blackpink member Jennie, it's like every member of Blackpink been releasing a new album in the past couple of weeks apart. So Blackpink member Jennie debuted at number 7 for the first time as a solo artist with her debut album Ruby, logging 56,000 units. It tallied nearly 40 million streams and 26,500 sales. A collection of pop and R&B. R&B includes features from Childish Gambino, Doechii, Dominic Fike. I forgot Dominic Fike was an artist. But I don't think he's coming back to, from what I heard, I don't think he's coming back to Euphoria. But then I heard he was coming back, so I'm confused. I gotta look that up. But yeah, they said include features from Childish Gambino's on the album, Doechii, Dominic Fike, FKJ, Dula Peep, and Kali Uchis. Now, Ruby is the third record by a Blackpink member to place in the top 10 of the album's chart, following Rose by Rose. That's so I do love that damn song though. And every time I'm at the Garden, I do hear that song. They do play that song a lot. So I'll be living for it. And I do like Rose's album. And they say Elisa's alter ego, which arrived at number 7. The remainder of the top 10 this week is led by Kendrick Lamar's GNX at number 2 with 81,000 albums units earned. Party Next Door and Drake's Some Sexy Songs for You at number 3. Yeah. Now, I was going to say that at least Drake got something to celebrate, but you still trailing behind K-Dot. And we got that article, that story coming up later about Drake and the UMG drama and all that other stuff. So they also said that SZA's SOS, God, that album is so boring, but y'all like it, whatever. Continues at number 4. Tate McRae is So Close to What is at number 5. Sabrina Carpenter's Short and Sweet is at number 6. Well, she is currently touring. Then you got Bad Bunny's De Vitra Mas Fotos is at number 8. A lot of these people in this list we're gonna be talking about today. Like, we talking about Kendrick, we're gonna be talking about Drake, we're gonna be talking about Sabrina, we're gonna be talking about Bad Bunny. And we ain't talking about no damn Morgan Wallen. And who's at number 9? Chappell Roan's The Rise and Fall of Midwest Princess rounds out the top 10 because she's in number 10. And I heard this, I did hear that new Chappell Roan song, and kind of like it. It's you know what? I don't know if it's if y'all are aware. Please tell me I added that. Damn, I might have forgot it. I was supposed to add a Sabrina Carpenter story. I may have to go and look that up later on because, yeah, she's come under fire over something that she recently did. I feel like I totally forgot to add it to the docket, and I'm going to attach it later. But, or I might do it tomorrow. Depends. But, yeah, when you look at this whole situation, I do like the new Chappell Roan song. I was like, it sounds like a Taylor Swift track. I don't know if it was just me, but I was just like, yeah, it definitely sounds like a Taeyonce Swift track, as I like to call her. So, congratulations to you, Stephanie Joanne Germanata. on your, your success. But Robert, friend to the show, Messy Behind, decided to send me something about Lady Gaga. I almost forgot my damn website name because while I'm in the middle of doing this, I'm trying to pull up the Sabrina Carpenter article that I forgot to add to the damn docket. So yeah, so apparently they were sitting there talking about, because look, even though I'm glad that Lady Gaga paid homage to Madonna, it was just like, she is one of my inspirations, was girl. If it wasn't for Madonna, a lot of you girls in y'all positions would not have the careers that y'all have today. So I'd be sick and tired of people, well, so-and-so had this and that. And like, they were not on the same level as what Madonna was doing in regards to the tenacity of her music and her stage persona. We know that Donna Summer and all these other artists existed before her, but they did not have the career that she has had that spans over 4 decades. And the way how her music, her fashions, her work ethic, a lot of the things that she does, the fact that she basically makes girls feel that that's using sex in their music is a form of power and not a hindrance. None of these artists before her was doing that. So when you look at people like Britney Spears and Beyonce and Christina Aguilera and Ariana Grande and so many other pop girls that come after her, Madonna was the blueprint, is the blueprint, and they still following her. And Lady Gaga has learned a lot and taken a lot from her as well. So we're not going to sit up here and try to act like, because I've had this argument with people before. But yeah, so apparently Paul's Damn Little Monsters was out here being messy. And let's talk about it. So they was like, remind me again why Lady Gaga's moronic, idiotic, and child. Now look, this they words, not mine. They said the R word. Fans, and yes, I love quoting Gaga herself to describe her fan base, continue to think Mother Moron is anything special. She couldn't even be the biggest of all at her peak. So just imagine what is happening now. Cue the sad trombone. Tour comparison, MDNA tour versus Heart Flop Ball. Hashtag flop this way ball. Ooh, y'all messy, but I'm living for it because let's get into it. They said, now let's get into the real meat of the matter. Touring. We all know Madonna has been dominating the game for decades, but let's take a look at the comparison between her MDNA tour and Gaga's flailing attempts at touring, shall we? First up, Madonna's MDNA tour, which came out in 2012, grossed a whopping $305.2 million in just 88 shows. Yeah, that's right, $305 million. Meanwhile, Gaga's Flop This Way Ball, which happened in 2012 and 2013, made a measly $183.9 million in 98 shows. So Madonna managed to make more than 3.5 times the amount Gaga made despite doing fewer shows. And don't even get me started on Gaga's Art Pop Ball, which came out in 2014. It made a sad $83 million in 79 shows. 83 million people. Madonna made that much and then some in fewer shows with higher average ticket prices. Let's talk numbers, shall we? The average ticket price of Madonna's MDNA tour was $137.95. That's more than what Gaga charged for tickets in the Art Flop Ball, which was $90.21. So what do you think people were actually willing to pay more to see? And remember, those ticket prices are for the same global audience that Gaga just can't seem to win over. But I guess what they're trying to say is like, yeah, now she's trying to go after the Latin America audience, whereas Madonna has that Latin America audience on lock. And here's the thing. Madonna's always incorporated Latin music into her style of what she does. Her boyfriends were Black and Puerto Rican from New York, men from New York. So you were going to get that sound. Like when she first started out, it was like her music had a bit of freestyle. It had a bit of, those Latin rhythms. When you listen to La Isla Bonita, which is like one of her biggest hits, and she performs it on every tour, she incorporates that in her music. With Madam X, the influence of Brazilian fado music and a lot more Portuguese fado music and a lot of those type of sounds, she incorporated into that record. So Madonna has always had a love for the Latin music, and Latin culture. When she incorporated and added Maluma, even though I don't particularly care for his annoying non-singing ass. He cute and everything, but as far as the music goes, his music about as dry as that personality. But nevertheless, when she incorporated him into stuff, and she had Anita, and she had so many other people that she's incorporated in her sounds over the years. Madonna's always paid homage to the Latin music community. Lady Gaga, the only time all I can remember, like what was the only song I can think of that had any kind of Latin influence was Alejandro, which sounds basically like a lost Ace of Base track. which I've always said when I listen to that. But here's the thing, Madonna has way more mileage over Lady Gaga, which is why she's always going to have that international audience on lock, because Madonna's been doing this for 4 decades. Lady Gaga has barely made 2 decades in. She has only been making music since 99, which is like, what, 15 years? So she's got a long way to go if she really wants to lock it down and transition and go after that international audience. And I'm not talking about France, and I'm not talking about Germany, and I'm not talking about all those other areas. I'm talking about if she's going to go to Spain, if she's going to go to Brazil, which she is going to Brazil, I believe is it next month or is it May? When they do that, when she does that Rio situation. When she's got to go to all these little Latin America, if she's gonna go to Colombia, all the other stuff, wherever she's planning on taking, like after she does her little festival circus with Coachella and all the other stuff, then it's like, okay, so where does she go from this point to a lot of the Latin America markets when she decides to drop the tour dates for the Mayhem Ball? I'm guessing is what she's gonna call it, or I was even give her I was even thinking of giving her an idea. Like, you could either call it the Mayhem Ball or Club Mayhem. I was like, that would be a good idea to call it one of those. But yeah, she's gonna have to prove at that point that it's like you have to work for those for that audience. Madonna worked; she put in the work to garner that audience. So while I live for the shade, pause down, little monsters, because we like messy over here, and I love a good debate. But Madonna's always going to be that girl. Madonna's always going to supersede a Lady Gaga and so many others before, because she's been around much longer. So when you fans, and I think this is what they're getting at, when you fans try to come for the Queen of Pop and try to act like that she wasn't out here doing things and that Lady Gaga is superior to her, let's not do it, because the numbers are always going to prevail towards the legend, towards the icon, towards the moment, towards the woman who's been here on this earth making music longer than Lady Gaga was even a thought in her daddy's balls. So, because when was Lady Gaga born? Like 84 or something or another? Madonna was making music before, like I said, before Gaga was even a thought. So, I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to that and what I just read about Pause Down Little Monsters? Because, like I said, we love a little mess over here. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I know, I'm just so mad at myself that I bring up that Sabrina Carpenter story. I guess I'll bring that up. I'll just bring it up tomorrow. I'm like, it is what it is. I got to save some stories for tomorrow. I can't just be trying to overstuff the show as usual. All right. Let's see the comments, because I ain't even acknowledge you hoes. I say it with love though. Well, I did just check the inbox. I don't need to read that. Because I already checked the inbox. I told him Robert's out here being messy, but we live for it. Wasn't she sick around that time? And then also, I think the Chromatica Ball, the circumstance of that was COVID, so she got screwed over with that. Greetings. Yeah, Mariah's child. I shook my head when I was up in there, with the Mariah speech. I'm like, she doing too damn much. And I'm like, damn. I said, the way she was moving on stage, I'm like, is she frozen? Like, is something wrong with her? Like, she looked like she was out of it. Like, she probably popped the Xanax or something. Mariah was getting real stiff. When I say she was moving around like she performs on stage. Grace Jones. Oh, well, we know that she's very particular about. Well, if that's going to be the case, then maybe she needs to walk around with her own team to be up on stage. If she's going to be on stage, walk around with their lighting. But these people know how to work lighting when they're in the room. Like, she be doing too much. It's an award show. And then she was like, "Do you like the ensemble?" I was like, "Okay, girl, you are a mess." But we love the diva-dom and the diva antics of Mariah. That's why we accept it. Magical Mermaid is in the building. They said Little Monster started a fight, saying Madonna was placed almost last. I'm like, let's not, because it proves the feud is over and one-sided now. It is, and that's why I said last night when Lady Gaga thanked all her influences, including Madonna, I was like, at this point, Can we put it to bed? Can we move on? Can we not stop with the back and forth beef between the Madonna fans and the Gaga fans? Like, there is no beef. So if the fans want to keep that stuff going, you're gonna be arguing with go argue with your mammy, as I like to say, or go argue by yourself, because I'm not engaging. But on for the sake of being messy, I will bring it up on the show. But yeah, but for the most part, it's just like, no, we're not going to do that about tours and things, because Madonna will always sell out her shows. Even when she was sick, she was selling out that last show she did. What is that about? Reading glasses? Sometimes I be trying to understand the emojis y'all be putting up in here. I saw Gaga at a club in Fort Lauderdale. She performed Just Dance, Poker Face, Love Game, and Paparazzi. I thought she was a you want to know something? I know, I was like, I'm laughing because it sounds like a read, but I know it's not, because she definitely is giving drag queen tease when you look at that. It's like, yeah, that like her type of show that she would do, because she said that she was performing, like, I think, didn't she say she was performing like twice a night? Like, she would open up for New Kids on the Block, and then she would do the clubs, which I think is smart for an artist to do. Like, if you're starting out, really get out there and pound the pavement. I even think in this generation, y'all need to be doing that too, and stop just relying on internet and social media and YouTube and somebody recording with their phone and post it on social media. Like, really get out there and still pound the pavement. Because if you're an artist and you're trying to get to the gays, because the gays is like the most loyal of fan bases, I'm like, that's pretty smart. And yeah, so she's performing also, and that like her, the type of costumes, the all else, it definitely gives like, okay, a drag queen is getting up here and performing. So I could definitely see it. Oh, you saying she wasn't good? Oh, she was that messy in person? What was she, on drugs? My stereo has a CD, cassette, and vinyl, and Bluetooth, and SD card. Oh, all right. Yeah, I see them sell record players at Barnes and Noble. Okay. Well, it's been a minute. I haven't been to a Barnes and Noble in a minute. I usually order my books off Amazon. But yeah. So yeah, I haven't been in a Barnes and Noble in a while. I know there's like a real big one over on 14th Street in Union Square. I haven't been in that one in a minute. Gen Z is the main one buying vinyl record players. I got one for Christmas in 2019. A few months later, I bought my first 2 CDs with my own money. All right. Vinyl is a more respected investment. But I do love vinyl. I just never bought them because I was, I didn't have a vinyl. I mean, I didn't have like a record player. My parents had one. So I was more or less about CDs because I had a CD player. Remember when CDs came in that long rectangular box? Yes, I do. Vinyl is $19.99 to hire. Cassettes are about $20. Back in the day, it was $6.99 for LP. Oh, I know. Trust and believe. Like, I remember back when, like, my parents would still have the sticker on the vinyl. Like, they would just slice the side open where the record comes out, but the plastic would still be on the record. Like, my parents was real clever in regards to how they would remove the record player, because it was like, you got to handle it with care. You don't want to get no scratches on it and all that other stuff. So the plastic will still be on it, and the price. And the price, yeah, the vinyl will be like $8. It depends, like $6.99 or $8, whatever, depending on the type of album. And then you have like the 2-sided ones where you flip it over, and those were the days. We thought it was so retro back in the day. I said Playboy Cardi just dropped the Fire album. He's about to debut with 800K, half of what Taylor can do with no physical copies. Well, I have to definitely check that record out, because I didn't know Playboy Cardi was coming out with the music. I remember seeing Erotica. I think I bought Erotica in a long box. Theo Hughley agrees with Don Lemon, says, yes, you could be Black and Republican. Colin Powell, Condoleezza Rice are examples. Yeah, he's on right. I already know he's on right. That's because I'm laughing because I read Magical Mermaid's post. It's about some by Lizzo. Like, what she do? I know people are hating on her new song, by the way. But anyway, D.L. Hughley, I know he's doing an interview right now with Don Lemon. I did see that up there. The Giver does not give Taylor; it gives Lesbian Bar. And what she did say is her country track, and that's CUNTRY. It does give it. It sounds a little Taylor-esque. It's funny. There's a song on Lady Gaga's album that people are comparing to Taylor Swift, which kind of does sound like a Taylor Swift 1989 track, but I think that Taylor Swift might have been inspired by the same person that Lady Gaga was. Like, I'm thinking very much Yazoo, Alison Moyet. Like, if you know that type of sound that she was doing back in the day, it sounds very much like that's in the same wheelhouse of like Depeche Mode and Erasure, like that whole vibe. They all was all working within the same camp. Why did you compare Gaga's Latin influence in her music to Madonna's? Gaga didn't grow up around Latinos in the Upper East Side. That was unwarranted and keeps the feud going. I'm trying to remember if there was actually, there might be some Latinos in the Upper East Side. I used to hang out on the Upper East Side. There's a lot of bars around there. You do get a lot of white folks, though. There's also a project in the neighborhood. So she had to run in the Upper East, like over on 14th Street and like First Avenue and that sort of area. That's the East Side. She was over there, like in that whole area. That's the projects. The Cock is also over there too. There's a lot of bars and things in that area, so she was around a lot of that. I'm comparing because that's what they were doing in the article. Because they're comparing sales and they're talking about the Latin music market that she's going after or trying to encompass with her tours and things, and how she hasn't really, her tours have not really been successful in the Latin music space versus Madonna. That was the Pause Down Little Monsters article. That's what I was referring to. So it's no shade, or maybe just a little, because we shady over here. Gaga needs to go on a world child adoption tour if she really vying for that crown. Gaga was born in 86. Yeah, she 86 because my birthday is the same day, and I'll be 49. Not real pearls. Mariah seemed, yeah, that's what I said. What was she on? Because Mariah was given, she was stiff. She looked like she had taken some medication, and she was, I don't know, did y'all notice she was slurring a little bit when she was talking? Like, I was looking at her like, okay, what's she on? Like, don't tell me you out here doing K too. Like, the girl, I told y'all yesterday, K is on the rise, and we was talking about, the hell's her name? The Vivian. I was like, K is on the rise. A lot of these, y'all, why are y'all doing, why are the gays, or why are people in general getting high off horse tranquilizers? I don't get it. Like, I knew people that did K. Never did it. And I tell you, they literally be like, yeah, I'm having fun and I'm partying. They literally acting like they living their best life in their head. But in real life, they holding on to the railing like this, like you having a little siege or whatever, and they thinking they moving around a mile a minute, and I'm sitting there like, that don't look cute at all. So I've never really been doing, like, I don't do hard drugs. Like, that was something I never stayed. That was always was something I stayed away from. You know who also did K back in the day? Remember Michael Alec? He was another one that did K back in the day, especially like if you was in the club kid scene. K was prominent among other drugs, so he was doing all the drugs. K, I believe he was on K when he killed the guy that he killed. When he murdered the guy that he murdered and dismembered the body with his friend. I believe they was under the influence of ketamine. So yeah, that's something y'all need to stay away from. And literally, it's like y'all sitting out here worrying about meth. You need to be worrying about ketamine. Yeah, she is always stiff. But it's like it's gotten worse. And you're talking about not too much. We talking how we talking. She is very stiff. But everybody's agreeing. Weren't they clocking Gaga early in her career? Wasn't her lit? No. She does not have a sheeness. That's not sheeness. There was a hermaphrodite story that was going around her. Wait, there's no, you talking about what happened to entertainment news? What do you mean? There's not enough entertainment news popping up around on YouTube? Well, I don't think, well, no shade. I don't think anybody out here is doing entertainment news like I'm doing it. There are people out here that are they talk about stuff, but I don't know. To be honest, there's not many people that I actually even watch that do entertainment news. Like, I do watch Funky Dineva, and shout out to him because he read them homophobes down to the ground yesterday. I was living for it. Because he said something, somebody came up in the comments. I forget what started the conversation, but it was like about gays or whatever. Yeah, I can't remember the conversation. If y'all seen the same episode, let me know what it was because I can't remember what it was. All I know, it just expanded into this thing. We had two people that came up in the comments like, "Oh yeah, we love gays, and I mean, I like you and I like how you entertain, but we don't need to be exposed to." I think it was something or another where there was like, oh, I know what it was. So Brandon T. Jackson, non-career having ass, decided to get up on the Breakfast Club and rant about the fact about men who wear dresses in movies like Martin Lawrence and so many others. I didn't know this. I don't understand how this is a big deal, especially when it comes to black folks. White people get up there wearing dresses like Miss Doubtfire all the goddamn time, and they don't even say nothing kind of, there's no homophobia, there's no F word type mess. It's always Negroes that start this mess. Y'all, oh, there's this humiliation ritual and all this. I said, y'all just be pulling stuff out y'all stank, unwashed asses to try to make some tired ass argument that makes no freaking sense. So you wearing a dress in a movie playing a character is gonna make you gay, it's gonna make you into dudes. So he was saying stuff about equating it with like homophobia and all this other stuff, and he was getting all mad and telling him like, oh well, we don't agree with your lifestyle, but we like you as an entertainer. So you sit up in here thinking I'm just nothing more than and I'm sitting there just like getting pissed with him because it's like that's how I feel like, do people perceive me this way? Because we in the same boat, we working in the same entertainment spaces, we both homosexuals, proudly so, because ain't nobody and there's no fear whatever that comes up in this situation. I live out loud and proud as my true authentic self. Fuck what everybody else say, and I ain't never gonna stop who I'm gonna be. And I encourage everybody else to be to be their authentic selves as well. But what I don't like is the fact that, oh, so I'm just up here good for roast and gags, and I'm good enough to be a court jester, and y'all just looking at me as nothing more than what, a clown sitting here with a microphone to entertain y'all. But you don't like me and who I am as a true person, that who I am in life, that we should not be seeing gay people predict. I was like, what is the word? I was gonna say predicted. We don't want to see gay people represented in movies and TV, because someone went and said, every time I turn on our TV, we always see a man kissing, which is a goddamn lie. Homosexual anything is few and far between. If you ever look at any kind of poll that GLAAD does every year, they'll tell you the least amount of that. We still have a long way to go in regards of representation in TV and movies. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of shows that feature us being represented, our shows only last for like a season or two, if that. Which is why I think Carlos King was even saying when he was interviewed by Nene Leakes that I guess we need to go to those. I guess we're nothing more than a niche market, so we got to go to those networks that support us. It's kind of like, with Shudder, they have the horror movie channel, so they have that market. You can go there. The reason why a show like Dragula works on that channel is because not only because it's a queer drag show, but it also falls within the horror landscape, so it works there. Same thing with like gay stuff. Wild Presents Plus is successful because a lot of the content on there is specifically for us. It's like about drag, and queer people have their own content on there, and some who are allies as well, but it's mostly geared towards the drag community. I kind of wish they would just put all the drag race shows on that damn network and just keep it there and just have people just subscribe to watch it. They don't even ask you that much for a subscription. So I feel like they should keep it on there. So that's what kind of irritated me about that. So I watch Funky Dineva. Shout out to Make It Make Sense. I do like him. And he supports this show because I've seen you jump in the comments at times. And I know there's some of you other pundits out there that be watching my stuff, hence why Onyx had to send me that clip of somebody using a clip from this show on their show. And I didn't even know about it until he told me. So I'm sure all and shout out to y'all that watch. We've had celebrities that pops into the show and, leave commentary as well. So you never know who's watching on the other side of the screen. And I appreciate all y'all that support. And I'll watch Armand Wiggins too at times. Like he'll have some good clips and stuff up, and I watch him. Other than that, I really don't know many other pundits. I know you said I had a collection of 12-inch singles. I'm sure you did have a 12-inch. Just jokes. Actually, that Cardi album was insane. Oh yeah, I haven't heard it. I need to check it out. The Lizzo strays. What is going on with Lizzo? Everybody's throwing shade at. Well, I did say that she makes music for Black people who are in the interracial relationships, and people got mad at me for saying that. I am well, Vanessa. How bad do you want me? It was very, yeah, thank you. That's, I couldn't remember, and of course everybody knew which, you automatically knew what song I was talking about. But that's, I mean, I will say this. I actually have, the album has grown on me. So I actually like it. And well, I didn't say I didn't like it before. I was just like, half of it I like, half of it I didn't like. But yeah, it does sound like a Taylor Swift song, but I also feel like it's got some early Depeche Mode or Rage. It's kind of got that whole vibe up in there. Lizzo always has mean girl energy. It just took a while for it to come out. Well, have people forgiven her? That's a question I always want to know. So it reminds me of Gorgeous from Reputation. I need Reputation, Taylor's version. 55 will do that to you. Yeah, because look, say what you want. Y'all be out here reading Jennifer Lopez on her singing, but at least she got way more energy than Mariah does. That she moves like she 25 when she 55. But that probably is because she's a Puerto Rican from New York. I don't know. We built different out here. So they said Mariah looked bored AS. Oh, did you see how like she was sitting there when Money Long was singing and she just looked stiff as hell? Like she didn't like, why am I here? Like, girl, what are you doing to my song? And I even saw at one part she was lip singing to We Belong Together. And then who was that next up? Was that Innocent Pop? Because he was going in. He was just like he was having a good old time. The Born This Way ball tour underperformed in Latin America. It had to do 6 tickets for the price of 1, and she had to see. That's what I was getting to. She said, "What? Yeah, she definitely gives." Mariah, I love you. You are an icon. You are a legend. You are the moment. But girl, as far as a stage performer, you are the most laziest performer I've ever seen. I would never pay money to see her live. Hell no. And that's no shade. I'm just saying. Well, I really think Mariah needs time off to grieve her mother and sister. I think it's hitting her hard despite her. Look, she got plenty of time. Look, Christmas ain't until like what? What month we in? She got 8 months because she usually goes on tour for the Christmas tour in like November. So take 8 months off, relax, release. You know, don't even don't stress yourself out. Just take some time. Sell your catalog. Look, the worst thing you could do is sell your. Look, she could always make bank off of that. I would never sell my catalog. She could leave it to her children. They covered the Blake Lively case in Housewives News. Wait, did I miss who you talking about? Folks got twisted when Disney had a gay animated character. Yeah, they do. But I'm like, y'all be all right. It's like, we exist. And people need to stop kowtowing to one or a few people that get pissed off because they see a character that they don't like. It's like, oh, because what it is you are uncomfortable with seeing LGBTQ plus people on your screen. And so you're going to run off and say, well, this is, y'all always trying to shove gays down our throat. There's always some agenda or whatever the case. It's like, there's no damn agenda. We just want representation. That's it. Like, the world exists not just of one monolith group of people. Because then he had to prove a point as well. It's like, yeah, I don't want to, you talk about you don't want to see gay people on TV. If you don't want to see a certain type of people, it's like, okay, well then I guess that we should go back to the days when black people only seen as mammies and maids. Well, black women, because it was a black woman that came at him. Child, quiet as it's kept. Always be 9 times out of 10 black women that come with the goddamn homophobia. So the one thing I hate about it is it's like when we talk about our lived experiences, y'all try to discount it. It's kind of like there was this other thing that I saw that was posted. I think it was somebody that was talking. There was another podcast on Instagram that was talking about Tamar Braxton. And then somebody mentioned in the comments about, well, so much for protect black women. I was like, so Tamar can come out here and call me all kinds of bitch and you got your titties out and all this other mess, and that's okay. But if I read her down to the floor for trying to come for me because she thinks that all gay men act like the faggots she hang out with, then I'm in the wrong. If I call her a fucking Muppet, if I called her a raggedy ass stank bitch, if I called her all kinds of stupid names, if I called her a wannabe drag queen, because that's the way she be acting. She is literally, and it goes to show based off of what she's been saying lately in that last interview that she did, that you literally are portraying a caricature of a black gay man, and you've taken a lot of those elements of some of the phrases and things that we say, and you've incorporated into your vernacular, and you monetized it because you think this is how all gay men act, when we don't all act that way. So that irritated me with her in that. Because I did find out the media can't be team, but we'll see. Movie was Strange World. Oh, that's what it was called? He said Lizzo is becoming about. You know what? You're not the first person that's compared her to Meghan Trainor. That's why I said she a black woman that make black music for people who are in interracial relationships. Mayhem grew on me too, but I like Playboy Cardi's album more based on first listen. Yeah, it's like I don't know if people have the patience for wanting to get in the records where it's like, oh, I have to be it has to grow on me. Some people aren't into like taking the time to just sit with an album and let it marinate. People want them to like smack them upside the head upon first listen. I just wish that she was just more honest in the overall vibe of the album, and what she should have said was like people need to take the time to really get comfortable with the record. Like it's not going to be like this record that hits you upon first listen. But maybe then again, maybe when you sit with an album for so long, you don't know how people are going to receive it because you've been working on the music for a while. You've been sitting with the album. You put the record together. All that. So it could have been that. Tarjay is almost losing 20. Well, they can keep losing it because I don't go to Target. Tarjay done lost my money for sure. And it was bougie and classy Walmart, and now you have people driving 10 to an hour to go shopping at Costco. I was trying to think, how many Costco's do I have? Well, I live in Queens, so I have to drive to Five Town to get to Queens. Five Towns, which is in Long Island. It's not that far. It's like 30 minutes. So I have to drive that to go to that Costco, or BJ's. I would have to go to Green Acres Mall to go there for their stuff. So it's either or. And I know I kind of wish there was there were more Costco's that were nearby. I know, like, if you live in the city, I think there's a Costco. I don't know if there's any other Costco's in New York City in the 5 boroughs other than the Bronx. I think that's the only one that I know that has a Costco. If there's a Costco in Brooklyn or whatever, let me know. And Walmart, good luck trying to find a Walmart in any of the 5 boroughs. You're going to be more or less trying to find one, I guess, in Long Island or in New Jersey. But anyway, let's move on because we're almost 45 minutes in and we haven't even gotten to topic number 2. So let's give a shout out to Miss Beyoncé because, the other day we did talk about that she was on the struggle bus in regards to selling them Cowboy Carter tickets. Well, apparently a Beyoncé fan account posted a report on the Twitter that she has sold about 95% of the Cowboy Carter tour tickets. I think that's the pre-sale. I don't even think the regular tickets have gone on sale yet. So yeah, they said that it's now approximately 95.28% sold out from 28 dates. Now, according to Billboard, they said barely a month after pre-sales began, and with 6 weeks until opening night, the world tour is at 94% capacity across all dates, according to a new stat from promoter Live Nation. The Cowboy Carter tour was announced on February 3rd with 22 shows at 8 cities on either side of the Atlantic. In the ensuing days, demand forced additional dates in 6 of the 8 markets, including 2 add-ons apiece from Atlanta and London. Now, Queen Bey ain't done yet because adding a 31st and so far final date In a new location, Live Nation said on Monday that Beyonce will bring the tour to Vegas' Allegiant Stadium on July 25th, returning to Sin City after playing 2 shows at the same venue during the Renaissance World Tour in 2023. The Beehive pre-sale begins on Thursday, March 20th. So you got 2 days, so 2 days from now. PDT with the artist pre-sale at the time on Monday, March 24th. Additional pre-sales for City Card members, Verizon Up, and MasterCard will also roll out advance in the general on sale Tuesday, March 25th. So now the tour follows the release of its namesake album. The set debuted atop the Billboard 200 last April. It won 3 record extended Grammys, including Album of the Year and Best Country Album. Beyonce performed the Christmas Day NFL halftime show on Netflix. And so we got an idea of what I guess we could expect from this upcoming tour. And I still stand on what I say. No shade, but I do not. I just don't look. If y'all gonna go out and see the tour, kudos to y'all. Spend your money, whatever's left of it. Because with the way this economy is about to go down into the toilet, you might as well just go out with a bang, right? And spend 2 months of your rent on a Beyonce Cowboy Carter tour ticket. However, I just don't think that this album and this type of song that's on it warrants a stadium tour. I really wish that she would have kind of gone more of, like I've said many a times, the Madonna Madam X route and done more of a theater type of setting. That's what Cowboy Carter gives. Cowboy Carter does not give freaking stadium. Unless she planned on doing a whole lot of remixes for those songs. I just feel like, she spent way too much on this album trying to educate people on the history of country rather than entertaining us with the country style or influences on this record. But if they're saying it's sold out, and maybe this is Live Nation sending out a bunch of Grimm's fairy tales just because of the rumors that's been floating around that she's been struggling to sell tickets in the United States. And I'm not even sure if if I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm sure there are overseas dates. Do people even like country music outside of the United States? I feel like country music is a niche market only in the US based off of the type of music that it is. Like, I can't see a Morgan Wallen going to the UK and selling out a damn stadium. Or, maybe a Post Malone, because Post Malone is a crossover artist. So, he didn't start out doing country. But just like Beyonce didn't start out doing country either. She was doing other genres before she jumped into the country bag. But, like I said, the same way I feel about Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom, I don't see it. So, prove me wrong when I see the movie. When they do Avengers Doomsday, it's the same way I feel about this tour. I have to see how she stitches this tour together for me to want to change my mind, because I just can't see visually how she can make this work in a stadium setting. But like I said, I'm going to just wait until the tour begins in 6 weeks and y'all start posting all the videos and stuff online for me to get an idea of what her overall vision is for this arena tour. So I ask all of you this. What do you guys think of this latest news regarding Beyonce's Cowboy Carter selling 94% according to Live Nation, 94% of their pre-sale ticket inventory, because the regular tour dates haven't even gone on sale yet. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. So let me close these Beyonce windows. Let's go up here and see what the peoples are saying. Oh, you said it's a Costco in Red Hook? Of course it's a Red Hook. Isn't that where all the bougie people live? Melania look like Handmaid's Tale. That ain't all she look like. Now she's starting to look like a Caitlyn Jenner doppelganger. She need to lay off them damn fillers. Oh, speaking of Melania, child, there was the story that came out, I think with some Keith Edwards. He said, I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this. Neither do I. But word on the street is Melania out here getting her back blown out by her bodyguard. And the reason why, allegedly, and the reason why she's actually doing this docuseries, whatever the hell they doing over there on Jeff Bezos' streaming service, Prime Video. The reason why they giving her $40 million for this docuseries that nobody's going to watch except hardcore maggots who are so deep drinking the Jim Jones Kool-Aid, they don't know which end is up. The reason why she's doing this because she has a fear that he's not going to leave her no damn money. when he dies, all this money that him and Elon and the rest of these broligarchs are stealing from our government, and then some. She's afraid that he's not going to leave her no money. So this 40 million is and all the little deals that she's been doing on the side, and the crypto meme coin scam that she jumped in on also with her husband, that they scammed their own fan base, the MAGAs, before the inauguration, before he became the 47th president. They had a whole meme coin scam. She's in on it too. And so all of the stuff that they're doing, she's trying to line up what her finances is going to be, because God forbid, well, not even forbid, Lord, please, the day that time he closes his eyes, she want to make sure she got some coins in her situation. So that's the rumor. But I truly believe she getting her back blown up by her bodyguard. I need to pay attention to what her security team look like, because he probably fine as hell. And Trump ain't getting it up. He gets a hard on for money. He don't get a hard on for pussy. But then was another story that came out. There's some book that's coming out that apparently he tried to invite some woman in his bed. But I'm like, Grandpa, you ain't getting nothing. Ain't nothing getting hard between me down there. You probably ain't seen your dick since 1992. 94%. But how many of these people are actual fans and not that part? And I was thinking that too. I don't know why they bring that. It's like, yeah, a lot of times, especially when they always talk about like the high prices, some people said that it might be resale. That's the reason why a lot of those tickets are expensive. And it could be that too, because a lot of people do buy up a lot of those tickets, and then they try to go around and try to resell for even more expensive price. So yeah, that does kind of make me wonder. It's like, you can't. That's why I always, like, when you hear these prices and these numbers and how many percentages and stuff, I always side-eye it, because I don't feel like Live Nation is usually 110% truthful when it comes to when they talk about concert tickets sold and spaces, because y'all know I work in the live music space, so that's why I be side-eyeing it. But it's in the Rebel Heart chat, people said they probably waiting for the prices to drop. Well, that's always the case when it comes to tours. And I've always told y'all that. I said, literally wait till the last minute to get tickets. Because I remember when Dom Dollar came to my job, and I was talking to some girl, and she was like, she was telling me that she spent like $100-something on those tickets. First of all, I don't know. I don't understand how y'all out here spending that kind of money on it to see a DJ spin at an arena, which I always find it relatively weird. I feel like DJs, y'all need to be doing clubs, but maybe the big clubs, the mega clubs and stuff don't really exist no more, which is why they resort to coming to, the Madison Square Gardens and the Barclays and stuff to do their DJ sets. But she was telling me she spent $100-something. One of my coworkers told me that his son is a Dom Dollar fan, and he went and bought him a ticket for like $40. And then I thought about it, she was like, oh no, I bought my tickets months ago. So I was like, yeah, that's why. If y'all wait till the last minute, them tickets drop. Don't say I didn't give y'all nothing. America will probably be in a recession, but you being too kind by saying by Christmas. I think we're gonna get there sooner than that. No, well, World War III, yeah, definitely is happening, because they bombed some people. Well, yeah, they bombed some people over there, and some women and children. I believe it was in Gaza. They already going after people in Yemen. They've been, we got multiple wars going on. The media's not talking about it, but yeah. And they were showing like a lot of headless people. Shout out to Kyle Kalinske, because he was one. That's how I found out about it. A lot of eggs. Should we start changing the word from the B word and start saying they dropping a lot of eggs on places? Because eggs is like the big thing. Everybody's worried about the price of eggs and stuff. So yeah, they dropping eggs on Gaza. They trying to steal the West Bank. So maybe we'll start doing that. But anyway, let's lighten the mood. Let's talk about Bad Bunny in his drawers, which I was not expecting. I mean, he's always usually thirst trapping on social media, but he really gagged the girls. And one of my friends went and said to me, he was like, I bet you everybody gonna say he out here queer baiting. I'm like, how are you queer baiting when you're doing an ad for Calvin Klein? Calvin Klein is notorious for doing underwear ads. Even back from like as far back as I'll take y'all, they always had like models like Marcus Schenkenberg and stuff who used to do that in the 90s. But when you talk about celebrities, we had like Mark Wahlberg, who would be out here dropping his Calvins. He had a big story with Calvin Klein, which is probably why he went full on Jesus freak, because he probably got turned out when he was starting out in the business in the 90s with Good Vibrations and all that other stuff, and then just basically playing the same damn character in every freaking movie he does. But so yeah, we've always had, musicians, actors, whatever the case is, who have done the whole, underwear ad thing. So the 31-year-old singer stars in the brand's Sexy Nude campaign to promote the Icon cotton stretch underwear for the spring 2025 collection. The campaign was directed by photographer Mario Sorrenti, who photographed the Grammy winner in his home country, Puerto Rico. Now, in the photos, the Un Verano Sin Ti singer stripped down and showed off the product's white and black boxer briefs, while in others, the singer rocked the brand's signature classic tank top. The Icon cotton stretch is an updated version of the original designer underwear with maximum comfort. The new designs include a stitch-free infinity bond waistband, a supportive contour pouch. Oh, we contouring pouches now? An enhanced shape retention for premium ease of wear per the press release. You want to know something? One of the things I do love about underwear, especially because I'm not a briefs wear, I like boxer briefs. You really have to worry about the package and how you can keep that cinched or just cupped in a certain area, kind of like the way that you put a jockstrap, you put your meat in the front or whatever, and it just sits in there. And now they have like underwear that I've seen where you could separate the meat from the potatoes. And so, because they always said like if it's too close, it could kill your sperm count. That's why I've always heard that story. So they said, from briefs to trunks, the new Icon stretch underwear brings effortless style and comfort to any look. The release continued. So then they also went on to say, this has been in the works for some time now, saying it finally come to life has been gratifying. This is what he said in a press release. He said, I'm excited and grateful for the opportunity to be part of this brand's iconic campaign, and getting to shoot it in Puerto Rico made it that much more special and genuine. Along with the sexy photos, the brand issued a campaign film that is set to hit to his song EO. The singer's campaign follows in his attendance in the iconic brand's return to New York Fashion Week in February. He joined the likes of Calvin Klein himself, Christy Turlington. I have a friend who's a drag queen, goes by the name of Christy Girlington. But it's like Christy Turlington, Eve Hewson, and Alexander Skarsgård at the show, with the latter two also having started recent campaigns for the brand. Now, Houston's recent February 2025 collaboration was for the brand's new shapewear line, while Skarsgård returned to modeling for Calvin Klein's fall 2024 menswear campaign in September 2024. I believe was Skarsgård a model before he was an actor? I don't know. Remember him as being a model before that. But yeah, so this is. So I'll show you. Let's go through the slide. This is some of the pictures. Bad Bunny looking like a snack. I was like, "How you doing?" With the cute little pout and the curls. The curls are curling. I'm loving the tattoos. I would say that they did a job well done with this photography, by the way. Mario Sorrenti, but he is an icon in the fashion world, so he knows what he's doing. But I like this whole mirror look. And so yeah, there's some of the looks. By the way, cutie and all that good stuff. So now we do have some comments with some people who saw the photos, and here's what they said. One said, "Really, while I'm ovulating?" The other one said, "If you see me being manipulated by a man who looks like this, don't save me. I'm exactly where I want to be." Another person said, "Don't ask me what color anything was." MTV's like, "Why wasn't I invited to film this?" And we have nothing appropriate to say. Exactly. So now, they out here just thirst trapping. But I'm like, look, Bad Bunny looking good and the cheeks is chicken. I was like, I didn't know he had all that ass behind him. I was like, that's news to me. So, now I should also say that they also mentioned that the month prior, in August 2024, Greta Lee modeled for the first installment of the Calvin Klein Fall 2024 campaign. The same month, you had Jeremy Allen White was recruited by the brand after his partially closed spring campaign for the Fall 2024 denim ad. I should also point out that, I always get irritated on this show whenever we talk about firsts. Because I'm like, why in 2025 we still talk about the first one to do this, the first one to do that? Bad Bunny is literally the first Puerto Rican male to pose for Calvin Klein's campaign. The third Latino, by the way. The previous two were Maluma and I believe Oscar De La Hoya. But he's literally the third Latino to pose for Calvin Klein, first Puerto Rican. Can we get to a point in life where we not still doing first with people of color in anything? Like, y'all really, industry people, y'all really need to stop with we're still just doing first because they've got to break barriers in order for y'all to acknowledge someone because they're hot at the moment. But overall, congratulations to you, Bad Bunny, on this, this feat, what you got going on. And hopefully there'll be way more people down the line who I'm curious to see who we're gonna get next year. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards of Bad Bunny's photo shoot for Calvin Klein underwear? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. So let me make sure I got all my windows closed as I state before. And now let's get into our next topic. Let's get into this Drake story. So UMG finally is clapping back at Drake over his Not Like Us lawsuit, basically saying what I've been saying the whole damn time, which is he's just mad, big mad, and being a sore loser because he started this fight. He thought he was going to beat Kendrick in the beef battle. Didn't realize that Drake is a poet. Drake is somebody, I mean, not Drake. Kendrick is a poet. Kendrick is somebody who's a Pulitzer Prize winning artist, multi Grammy Award winner. And so, if you Pulitzer Prize, you got away with words. You are a word assassin. So he scalped Drake. Drake couldn't take it. His ego was bruised. It was hurt. And now he out here acting, channeling his inner Karen. Or what do we call men? Chad, Ken. And decided to file a lawsuit against his record label. So Drake apparently is trying to have his cake and eat it too, according to music label UMG, which says his whole lawsuit over Not Like Us is really just sour grapes because K-Dot buried him in their rap beef. Now, Universal Music Group, aka UMG, has issued its first official court response to Drake suing the label for defamation as it relates to distributing and promoting Kendrick Lamar's hit diss track, Not Like Us. Now, attorneys for UMG filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit on Monday, March 17th, calling Drake's allegations meritless and stressing that public embarrassment is the real reason he chose to sue the conglomerate. Saying, quote, plaintiff, one of the most successful recording artists of all time, lost a rap battle that he provoked in which he willingly participated. This is according to UMG's lawyers, and they wrote this in legal documents obtained by Billboard. Instead of accepting the loss like an unbothered rap artist he often claims to be, he has sued his own label in a misguided attempt to salve his wounds. Y'all want to talk about reading? I'm like, ooh, that was shady. They must have somebody gay up in there that came up with that one. Or woman. Because there's no way that was like some heterosexual went and wrote that. Now, UMG went on to argue that Drake issued his own incendiary statements toward Kendrick during the battle, including accusations that he was physically abusive to partner Whitney Alford and that his business partner Dave Free may be the father of one of K-Dot's children. However, Drake's hyperbolic insults and vitriolic allegations simply don't engage the public like Kendrick's did. Yeah, because who doesn't know a woman beater? Allegedly, or who doesn't have a baby out of wedlock with another man or a woman, or vice versa, like I was saying. But you out here allegedly dealing with children when you kind of drop those breadcrumbs, especially remember when he slid up in Miss Millie Bobby Brown Bon Jovi's DMs, among other girls. So, but when the pedophile thing came out, then you was running around here like, ooh, my feelings is hurt. Now you being sensitive. But it was okay when you was out here making allegations. It was cute when you say it, but when somebody say it to you, you can't take it. That's not how the game is played. especially when you jump in the rap battle space. Like if you coming in this space as being a rapper, you should be understanding and knowing of the history of hip hop. And battle rap plays a major part in hip hop culture. So the label goes on to say that both Drake and Kendrick's disses are shielded from defamation lawsuits thanks to free speech guaranteed by the First Amendment, and that over-the-top allegations like calling Drake a PDF file are common when it comes to hip-hop diss records, saying, quote, diss tracks are a popular and celebrated platform or art form, I should say, well, platform and art form, centered around outrageous insults, and they would be severely chilled if Drake's suit were permitted to proceed, the company wrote. Hyperbolic and metaphorical language is par for the course in diss tracks. Indeed, Drake's own diss tracks employed imagery at least as violent. The company also noted Drake as one of many artists who supported a 2022 petition criticizing prosecutors for using rap lyrics as evidence in criminal cases. Now, they say, as Drake recognized, when it comes to rap, the final work is a product of the artist's vision and imagination, UMG lawyers wrote. Drake was right then and is wrong now. The complaint's unjustified claims against UMG are no more than Drake's attempt to save face for his unsuccessful rap battle with Lamar. I'm like, damn, they going in. But look, Chad, you called us upon yourself. But yeah, here's the court document. Shout out to Megan Cunniff, because I saw this over on her Twitter. And I was like, oh, I need to add this to the show. So yeah, they said the court should grant UMG's motion and dismiss the complaint with prejudice. So yeah, this is page 7 of 32. So I was like, this is the most important one. Say, yeah, I want it all. That's why I strive for it. This me, you'll never hear a reply for it. This is from Drake's successful track. So they said plaintiff, one of the most successful recording artists of all time, lost a bat rattle that he provoked and in which he willingly participated. Instead of accepting the loss, said the unbothered rap artist he often claims to be, he has sued his own label in a misguided attempt to salve his wounds. Plaintiff's complaint is utterly without merit and should be dismissed with prejudice. Now, they have the introduction, which said that in the spring of 2024, two of the most popular recording artists of the world, Kendrick Lamar and Aubrey Drake Graham, they said Drake or plaintiff, engaged in a high-profile rap battle. Over the course of approximately 2 months, they engaged increasingly vitriolic and incendiary diss tracks, sometimes responding within hours of each other. Drake encouraged the feud. For example, when he felt that Lamar was taking too long to respond, which I keep telling y'all, perfection takes time. You cannot, Rome wasn't built in a day. Like, I'm not coming back at you with no rap in like 2 seconds after you drop yours. I'm gonna let you finish. In the words of Kanye, I'm gonna let you finish. But you know, you're gonna get what's coming to your ass. So they said Drake released a second recording in which he goaded Lamar to continue the public rap battle. Lamar did just that. And collectively, Drake and Lamar released a total of 9 tracks taking aim at each other. Multiple commentators declared Lamar to be the winner of the battle. Not Like Us, the penultimate track in the field, is a subject of the complaint. The recordings and music video were released by Lamar, though defendant UMG on May 4th, 2024, Not Like Us was a massive commercial and artistic success. The record was the best-selling rap recording of 2024 and won the Grammy for Record of the Year. And the accompanying music video won the Grammy Award for Best Music Video. The song, Not Like Us, won the Grammy Award for Song of the Year and became ubiquitous cultural phenomenon. Among other things, Lamar performed the song for the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show to a record audience, and Saturday Night Live parodied in their recent 50th anniversary special. And I know people like Charlamagne was getting mad because it was like, well, now making it seem like this is all he is, that all he is not like us, and there's so much more to him than that. And it was like, and I was like, the argument, I should say the debate that they were having around the time that he did the Super Bowl. And it's like, yeah, we know, those of us who listen to Kendrick Lamar, like, I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan, but I listen to Kendrick when I'm like in my conscious hip hop mood. He's not somebody like, if I listen to Drake, Drake is like fast food. It's like, you know, that food that ain't good for you. Like, it's just junk food for the soul or whatever the case is. Like, you know, it tastes good. It's fast. It's to the point. And it's like Drake's music, I listen to it. It's bops. He got bops upon bops. And it's catchy. He's a pop act who raps and sings. He's a pop star. And we like that. But if I want to, have a moment where I'm deep in thought, and Kendrick got some bops too, but his bops are not the same as like he's not a pop act. He's a rapper who makes different types of music that makes you think in so many ways is what I'm trying to get at. And he's got some, he doesn't have like as many bops as Drake, and that's fine. That's not the type of artist he's gonna be. But you can't sit up here and get mad because a lot of people resonated with Not Like Us out of all the rap songs y'all did, out of the 9 songs y'all did back and forth between each other. How come it's just Not Like Us? Because that's the song that resonated the most with everybody. That's the song you going at. What about all the other songs y'all put out there? Is it because that nobody resonated with your songs, and then the other songs that Kendrick put out, that those are the ones that matter to you? Say, oh, they pushed Not Like Us, but wouldn't they when they're trying to push all the other songs? Like, it doesn't make sense. It's just that he's mad because the people resonated with Not Like Us more so than any of the other songs that they came out with, and he didn't come out winning victorious in the rap battle. You're not going to win every rap battle. There have been many artists out here who have not won a lot of the battles, but are they sitting out here being bitter? No. But you are. You're the only one out here filing lawsuits, which is now why it makes you even look more of a laughing stock. Because who files lawsuits? That's why they be going in on you over a rap song. And what you're doing is you're putting more fuel to the fire, because now they like, oh, hit dog or holler, and you coming across like you guilty. There may be some truth to what Kendrick said in the song. Why hasn't he filed a lawsuit against you for accusing him of beating on the mother of his children? Or the fact that you're saying that one of his kids is not his. Remember, once upon a time, didn't he try to deny Adonis as one of his own at one point? So just lick your wounds, move on from the situation, because I don't think you're going to win. But I should point out before we wrap this up that Drake's attorney has responded to what UMG is alleging. So yeah, Michael J. Gottlieb, who I believe also represented some people that I think they went up against Rudy Giuliani and some accusations, and he ended up winning the case for them. So here's what he had to say. Michael J. Gottlieb. UMG wants to pretend that this is about a rap battle in order to distract its shareholders, artists, and the public from a simple truth. A greedy company is finally being held responsible for profiting from dangerous misinformation that has already resulted in multiple acts of violence. This motion is a desperate ploy by UMG to avoid accountability, but we will have every confidence that this case will proceed and continue to uncover UMG's long history of endangering and abusing its artists. Drake filed the defamation case on January 15th in a New York federal court, claiming that UMG knew that the PDF file claims made on the aforementioned hit were false and defamatory, yet still chose to distribute and record. I mean, they said distribute and the record. That's a gaffe. That doesn't make sense. But anyway, knowing it would be a gold mine for the company. But you will have to try to prove that in court. And also, when they said that UMG they're gonna continue to uncover UMG's long history of endangering and abusing its artists. I'm looking forward to hearing more tea about that, because what? This like gangster type shenanigans going on behind the scenes at UMG. I mean, then again, I am kind of thinking there may be some truth to that, because when we get into this Iggy Azalea story, it kind of makes sense when they talk about UMG's long history of endangering and abusing its artists. And she's claiming they took her money. But I want to know this part about where they said that this information has resulted in multiple acts of violence. I need more clarity on that, because I'm like, has there been like physical altercations that has been going on since these rap beats have been going back and forth, the rap beat that Drake has encouraged? Like, has there been people fighting? Like, has Kendrick's team been fighting up against Drake's team and all this other? Like, I haven't heard anything about this, so this is news to me. But if the lawyer says they're looking forward to spilling all this in court, then I'm going to be definitely paying attention to all this as it develops, and I'm going to be keeping my eye on this, because I definitely want to know more information on that. This whole back and forth with them with Drake and Kendrick. I just think it's stupid, but all that extra stuff that they talking about, I definitely want more information on that. So I ask all of you guys, what do you think of this story in regards of what UMG is saying about Drake and Drake's attorney clapping back at UMG's recent, violation on this beef situation. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. You said Aubrey's. Okay. Not Dershowitz. He said the lady doll protests too much, methinks. Okay. And she ain't no JPEG. She ain't no PNG. She just a PDF. So not the computer jokes or internet jokes. Okay, so now let's go from one UMG story to another. And let's talk about Miss Iggy Azalea, who has been calling out. She took to social media and is calling out UMG, saying that she asked them, "Bitch, where's my money? Pay me what you owe me." In the words of Miss Riri. So Iggy Azalea is accusing Universal Music Group of withholding millions of dollars in unpaid royalties, taking to social media to demand what she claims is rightfully hers. So on Saturday, the fancy hitmaker, who's 34, took to Twitter to claim that the company owes her millions of dollars in unpaid royalties for her singles, saying, "Crazy how in my entire career I was never paid a single royalty by Universal Music for anything outside of the USA." This is what she alleged in her post. "They owe me millions of dollars in back pay, and they technically stole from me. As per my contract, I'm due payment. The amount owed is in the 8-figure range. Last week, they tried to respond to my lawyer and offer me a settlement of $18,000. I'm told this is a normal response from their lawyer, and after appearing in court, they end up paying millions as they're supposed to." $18,000? Y'all got some. I was like, motherfucker, you was a low show mind. 18,000, that's what I'm walking away with? Fuck out of here. The 4-time Grammy nominee went on to note that she is thankful to be in a position to afford to pursue the issue until they pay her, unlike many smaller creators. Say, "I like to publicly say that I think Universal Music are criminals who actively take advantage of all," and she put all in caps, "of their artists to in perpetuity." That's the word. I was like, I'm forgetting how to say that. "In perpetuity for their own gain." This is what she tweeted. She said, "They are the scummiest company, and they do this to so many artists who unfortunately can't afford to fight for what they're owed. Thus, they get away with this behavior." Which is why I've been telling y'all, at this point, stop signing to record labels. The labels are not for you. The labels do not care about artists. They're there to get a percentage. They want to work you to the bone and make their money and leave you broke and bankrupt. That's why I would say, if y'all don't even need labels anymore. It's just like, post your stuff all over the social media. Yeah, the road is going to be a lot harder to travel if you're an independent artist. But if you sign to a label, you're literally just borrowing millions of dollars from them and having to pay all that back. But if I'm making y'all a lot of money, if I'm working myself to the bone, if I'm pretty much an independent contractor, then if y'all owe me money, pay me what I'm owed. We hear so many stories about so many artists who signed to major labels that end up bankrupt or filing for bankruptcy or being broke. So she said that Universal Music really needs to do better in their treatment of the artists who quite literally earn them millions via intellectual property they had zero part in creating. Yuck. Now, last year, the Australian rapper shocked fans after announcing her plans to quit the music industry to focus on other creative endeavors. Wouldn't that be OF? Because don't she have an OF channel or OF page? I don't know what she putting up on there, but she did say that she was supposed to be posting music videos or something or another on there. Now, in the same post, she also confirmed that she would no longer be finishing her upcoming 4th album. So I know a lot of people have this idea that I was bullied away from music, and that's something I've always laughed at because I've never been bullied out of anything. In fact, I'm too stubborn. I think I've even resisted changes within myself at times purely because I don't like being viewed as someone who quits. Azalea explained that she feels more passionately about design and creative direction than she does about writing music. Well, that sounds similar to Tiana Taylor. Tiana Taylor at one point was making music, And she was just like, I'm tired of the like, she was just over the music business because I remember like when I remember Tiana Taylor was like on the come up back and like, I think around the same time Lady Gaga was coming out. But even then, she was like, we knew who she was in Harlem, but she hadn't really popped yet. So she was going around for a long time. I remember one time when I was working, because I used to work when I worked in Harlem, she was coming out of the VIM, and all these kids came around and wanted to take a picture with her. So people were aware of who Tiana Taylor was, but she wasn't like she didn't blow up yet, but she was known in a lot of the New York circles. And it's just like, this industry chews you up and spit you out. Even when you can withstand through the storm, they will try you to the ends of the earth. And then you end up in this situation where it's like, yeah, I'm not even inspired to want to make music and create art. But you can probably still do that. You can go independent, sis, and put the art and the creative direction, all the other stuff in what you do. Now, Azalea explains that she said that to many of you, that's no shock to read. It shows in my work. Jokes aside, I do spend a lot of more time on that part of things because I'm most confident at that. That's why I want to let you know that I'm not going to finish my album. And so, yeah, here is her tweet that she posted that I was reading earlier. So we'll just leave that up. She also said that the album has been stalled while she was giving direction for a different project, and that she hasn't felt the urge to get back to writing. She says, I feel really happy and passionate in my day-to-day life when my mind's focused on that. So I want to stick to what's undeniably best for me. The Mo Bounce hitmaker concluded by apologizing to her fans, writing, I know for some fans, this probably means you feel a little deflated. I'm sorry to let you down. Now, the post sparked an outpouring of grief from her fans, but one commented, wait, what? So it's really the end of an era? Then another person said, that's so sad for us that genuinely love your music. I'm definitely one of them, but for those who really love you and respect you, it's really understandable. We want to see you happy. Another person said, what's sad to know that we won't have any more albums. I thought this would be the year of releases, but I'm happy to know that you're happy and with what you really want to work on. I love you, wrote another fan. So what I didn't know about her is that she has 28.8 million social media followers. And they said she's currently the creative director and co-founder of the relaunched Unreal Mobile, which integrates the $mother token as a payment option. And I still have no idea what that is. But if she's got Unreal Mobile, if she's making money doing business endeavors, then she doesn't really need to make music. But I would have been like, you know what? If I'm making money doing business stuff, the music thing at this point, I'd be like, release me from my major label contract, take their ass to court, get your money that you're owed. And what I would do is I would take the money that I've been making with my side business endeavors, which I'm making more money from, and continue doing my music, but on my terms and doing smaller venues, whatever the case is, not necessarily having to kowtow to the major label drama and headaches. Because if you've been through all of this, it's like, F y'all, I'm about to just go off and do my own thing. I'd rather just be independent than have to deal with the craziness of these major labels. So they said in August, she also announced that she was launching a new podcast called Mother Knows Best, through the volume where she'll interview chart-topping musicians and trailblazing CEOs, saying, I'm excited to start filming Mother Knows Best and stirring the pot in the only way I can. The Platinum Blonde Culture, not the Platinum Blonde Culture Vulture. I was like, y'all actually wrote that? And told HR in a statement. They said, for a long time now, I feel conversations in pop culture have become stagnant and overly cautious. I can't wait to start a fire and blaze a trail. Girl, you must don't be watching this show, because where do I come stagnant and overly cautious? Like, the stuff that comes out of this mouth. And speaking of Playboy Cardi, because it's funny how y'all talking about Playboy Cardi dropped a new damn song. Her baby daddy is Playboy Cardi, who they said he ain't been doing what needs to be done in regards to his fatherly duties. That's what she said. So, so they have a son together. His name is Onyx, who is 4. So, it seems like that's you know what, music ain't shit. Ain't no money in the music. It seems like now everybody's just jumping in podcast media space. That's why I said I'd rather stay over here. Anything else that I want to do in a little side project, it would be music, whatever the case is, I would do that for fun. But this is where this will pay the bills. This is where I get to just, there's always going to be something like this job I know will be here for as long as I want to do it, because there's always going to be something to talk about. There's always going to be some celebrity news and tea that's going to be coming out that's going to need an opinion, an honest opinion. And so that can always be going. With music, it's fickle. I'm glad that she's found something that she's happy about, the app that she has, the podcast that she's about to drop. So she's got her thing that she's doing and she's making her coin. So I want to hear from you all. What do you guys think of this story in regards of Iggy Azalea throwing shade at Universal Music, saying that they stole her money? And I'm sure she's not the first, nor will be the last that these record labels allegedly, like Universal Music, are stealing from. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, let's see. I see we have a comment. He said Drake and Nicki are pop stars, not rappers, because Little Kim dabbled in pop but never abandoned pop. Same with Kendrick. Well, you mean that she dabbled in pop but never abandoned rap? And that's the thing too. That was the difference between, when people over try to compare Little Kim and Nicki Minaj. It's like, yeah, the Barbie stuff, Little Kim was doing that. Nicki Minaj basically took it further. What irritated me with this thing is that because of Lil Nas X now doing this whole thing with Pink, that a lot of people trying to act like, oh, you trying to copy off Nicki, you trying to do this. I'm like, she didn't invent Pink. She was able to take Pink and make it and bring it and usher it into the mainstream and make it her thing, but she don't own the color. Pink been around long before. Hello, we had Pink, the singer, before there was a Nicki Minaj. So what are y'all talking about? And at one point, Pink was doing the whole dyeing her hair, wearing the pink clothes and stuff. And she did the pink hair for a while. I think after Misunderstood, she just like, okay, now I just need to stick with the blonde, because if you keep dyeing your hair with all these weird colors, that shit gonna fall out. So she kept the name, but she abandoned the color. So we always knew that she was that was her thing. So but yeah, it was like when you look at Lil' Kim, it was like, yeah, she dabbled in pop music, but she always stuck with hip hop. That was her basis. Not Igloo. I was like, I forgot that people do be calling her Igloo. At one point, I used to call her Igloo. Nikki doesn't F with him. She doesn't. You talking about she don't F with Drake? Oh, you talking about Lil Nas X? Yeah, because at one point, I don't know if y'all knew this, but yeah, Nick, before y'all even knew who Montero was, or before Montero became Lil Nas X, he was a barb, and I think he was running a barb stand page. And then when all that stuff started coming, oh yeah, I don't run that. I'm like, you should have just been confident with that shit. Like, yeah, I'm a Nicki fan. I'm a barb. I was running a stand account, and she has definitely influenced me in what I do. And I understand all the money and everything they put behind Lil Nas X. So far, I'm not impressed with anything he's been putting out. There's no shade. He just doesn't do it for me. Yeah, he's cute to look at. I wouldn't kick him out of bed. However, the music, he just doesn't give me what I need in regards to my gay rappers. And y'all know I listen to gay rap. So he doesn't give it to me. He doesn't give me that when I listen to his music. My stand account got suspended in 2023, so no digital footprint. I didn't know you ran a stand account. That's news to me. I mean, I know you were a Nicki fan. I mean, a Nicki stan, but I didn't know you had a fan account. All right, child, let's get to this, man. So let's talk about Selena's Red Rummer. Yolanda Bulldagger Saldivar, who got convicted in the 1995 Red Rum of Selena Quintanilla Perez. And now this heifer had the nerve to fix her mouth, or I should say somebody within her camp, like a family member, and said Selena herself is responsible for her own damn death. So in an interview with the New York Post, a member of Saldivar's family stated, it must have been one of them dummies, them big back heifers that was in that docuseries that was on, I think it was on Max, or no, it was on Peacock. So they said Yolanda knows what she did was wrong and she takes responsibility for it, but she was reacting to the way she was confronted. The anonymous person said that Saldivar claims Selena came at her very aggressively. She was thrown off with how forceful Selena was being. Everything happened so fast. If Selena had confronted her differently, this never would have happened. So what would you have liked her to have done? Drop your drawers and eat your pussy and then ask her, bitch, where's my fucking money? Like, how would you have liked her to respond to this? How would you like somebody to confront you when you're the bitch with the fucking gun? You're the one that had the gun in the hotel. And word on the curb was Selena gave you many chances in regards to the situation. And you decided to go to the store and get a gun. Somebody, you did it because you was scared of Selena's father, that he was going to do something damaging to you. Y'all story changed so damn much. I ain't never believed this no-neck having heifer, this 4'9" midget. I ain't never believed this bitch from the beginning. Y'all need to leave Tangina ass. Y'all know Tangina from Poltergeist. Y'all need to leave her ass up in that jail, because if y'all let Miss Psychic Friends out, oh, you know the Mexicans gonna take her out. I don't know if it's gonna be the cartel or a regular Mexican out in Texas, but you know they live for Miss Selena down there. And I'm not saying that y'all need to, do what y'all gonna do, but y'all know. Y'all can read between the lines. It's like, you better hope your ass don't get parole and you stay up in solitary confinement, because if you get out, sis, your days is numbered. And with you putting this stuff out here, you don't realize how this makes you look even worse. For you to sit up in here and blame her for her own death when you was the one that was up in there and talking about, oh yeah, I can help you run your business. I'll run the fan club. But you was out here robbing her, stealing her money, robbing her blind. And then when she confronts you on it, because your back was up against the wall, now you want to sit up in here and act like Selena was like Daredevil coming up, or Elektra coming up in there and was going to slice your ass up with her size. No, that's not what she was going up in there to do. She went up in there and confronted you. You the one that had the weapon. And what you could have said was, if you had the gun, well, you did have the gun, you could have just been like, look, back off, or whatever. But you sit up in here talking about it's her fault that she's dead. Talk about not being able to read the damn room. So now the 64-year-old, who currently is serving a life sentence for the 1995 murder, believes that Selena's death was accidental and also claims that the singer planned to commit. Now she's trying to say the singer was going to unalive herself prior to her death. So now you just pulling stuff out your ass, because you never said this before. Now all of a sudden this is in the story. How many times has this lady's story changed? I've seen so many interviews with her. You have never mentioned that Selena was going to take her own life. Never. But now all of a sudden, because your parole is coming up, now this is an addition to the revelation. Get off my line with this. So Saldivar fatally pow-powed Selena on March 31st, 1995. So yeah, her anniversary is coming up. In a Corpus Christi hotel room. She believes Saldivar was embezzling money. Not believe, she actually was. We saw the evidence. Since her initial conversation, she tried to appeal her sentence and was always rejected. Now, in the documentary, Selena and Yolanda, The Secrets Between Them, Saldivar shared, I was convicted by public opinion even before my trial started. Inmates at the Patrick L. O'Daniel unit in Gatesville, Texas, where she's being held, told the Post that Saldivar is separated from the general population. Of course, because if she wasn't, her ass would have been under the damn prison in 95. Not even. As soon as she probably would have walked through them gates, and the minute she was up in Gen Pop, oh, they would have popped her. Trust and believe. And if she think that she's safe when she get up outside that prison, girl, fans have not forgotten. People have not forgotten what you did. Especially in Texas. Now, former inmate Yesenia Dominguez explained everyone was like, let me have 5 minutes with that bitch. Everyone wanted to get justice for Selena. There's a target on her back. And this is why I keep saying, sis, you really think you safe outside of solitary confinement. So yeah. Yes, judge, give her parole. Let her ass out. Let her go out in them streets of Texas and let's see how long she lasts. Because I don't see her now. If she really think that she's gonna be rolling rolling through them streets of Texas like a free woman. Why am I referencing Lady Gaga and Limp Bizkit? I was like, look, if you want to roll around like a free woman, go ahead and do that. But you know somebody's gonna take you. I told her, them damn people, they forget, but they don't forget. So they also said, and we knew this because when I watched the docuseries that was on Peacock, her family is willing to house her. They said, we have never forsaken her, but I don't know where she's going to get a job. Who will hire her? So they said that a decision will be rendered by the parole board at the end of the month. I keep telling her, and I'm going to keep saying it, girl, you are safer where you are. You leave prison, I don't know where you plan on getting any kind of money. I guess you're going to get an allowance from your family members. They're going to be taking care of you because you're not going to get a job anywhere. These people in Texas are not willing to put their businesses at risk to have you in there, knowing full on well that Selena gave your ass a job and you did what you did to her. So why would anybody try to hire you for any job? Even a blow job, they wouldn't hire you for. So you sit up there going thinking that you're going to be able to just go back to some sort of normalcy when you get released. I hate to break it to you, and maybe you are just slightly delusional, but sis, that's not going to happen. You are persona non grata. You've got a full scarlet A on your forehead. So yeah, you go out into the world. You're not going to be able to get a job. Your family's got to take care of you for the rest of your life, and who knows how long they're going to be able to put up with you just sitting around gallivanting around that damn house all day, worrying about the possibility that somebody going to do multiple drive-bys at the house. You know, bullets raining down on your house where you staying at because they want to get at you for what you did to Selena. I'm not encouraging it, but you have to realize what the stakes are once you get released from prison. So, and you saying this recently, that's even worse. Or your family members putting out there, they've just signed your death warrant. So, I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards to the latest on what's Yolanda's family is out here saying that Selena was not only, if she didn't come at her so aggressively, she wouldn't be dead. And basically saying that Selena planned on taking her own life. This is the same ones that said in that same documentary that Selena was out here cheating on Chris with some business dude from Mexico. They were saying all kinds of foolishness in that docuseries, and I ain't believe not one word. Just like I don't believe nothing that come out of this lady mouth or the people that's out here windmilling hard for her. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Child, is a hot mess. But anyway, we got comments up in here. She said, I just want to say Yolanda has to hide or move to a town where she lives by herself, but who wants to hire her? She's much better off in jail. Exactly. Yes, girl, since 2020. It's like, calling a girl. No, I'm just playing. It started as a Harry Styles account, but then was full on Nicki. I was listening to Harry Styles earlier because I was doing some house cleaning. I was like, let me put some music on. So it was like, in addition to Jade Thirlwall's Fuck You For Now song, I was listening to Harry Styles. I was like, well, I haven't heard this song in a minute. Anyway, it's an album post. Janet Madge and all the girls I love on there too. See, that's what they get you. That's why I use all my insults for the show, because I can't do it on YouTube. Otherwise, I mean, not YouTube, on like Facebook and all this stuff, because I get in trouble. Or I cuss them out and then I block them real quick, so that way they can't go and report it and say, oh, he's bullying me, and then I have to get suspended or my channel taken down or whatever for I'm sure Yolanda is hoping to flee the country as soon as she get. Well, you better hope that Trump don't deport her, because he just going on this whole rampage and just rounding people up, even American citizens, and put them on that damn plane. And you can't be deporting people without due process. They have to be given a trial first. But they just bypassing all of that. So, and it said that I'm sure Yolanda's hoping to flee the country, but I'm sure people are going to be waiting for her as soon as she gets out. Where would she go at this point? She can't go to Mexico. They love her down there too. Remember she did that press conference down in Mexico and they was mad at her because she didn't speak the Spanish or good Spanish. Why would she unallow herself? She was about to put out her first major English album. Exactly. So that's why I was like, it's a bunch of BS. She was literally putting the finishing touches on her English language album. She was about to cross over into the Anglo music market. How was she gonna kill herself? So I'm like, y'all sitting up in here full of shit. Her and her dumbass family. So, in the words of Tokyo Toni, when I catch you, your mother will be wearing a blue. You know what? Tokyo Toni is a damn mess. And you said she can't flee the country. She can't apply for a passport. Oh yeah, I forgot. Because why? Oh, because you're a felon, right? Child, she's stuck. That's why I said, girl, you might as well just stay where you at, stay in solitary confinement, because if they let you out, it's curtains for you. But anyway, let's get into speaking of Tamar, because I was just mocking her when I was just like, who you calling the bitch? Apparently, Tamar and Toni got beef. Who knew? Well, now we know because Toni decided to put out a post and Tamar responded. So Toni Braxton apparently, Toni, I think Michelle Jackson, isn't that her last name? I mean, her middle name, I remember them saying it on Braxton Family Values. But anyway, she sent a jab Tamar Braxton's way on IG, but got it sent right back with a comment that has the fans buzzing. So Tamar and Toni have never had the smoothest relationship. The sisters have been in each other's throats in front of the internet before. That being said, fans were surprised by how quickly things spiraled out of control on Monday. So now, while trying to wish Tamar a happy birthday, Toni shared that she might have been blocked by her sister. Say, I wanted to repost that gorgeous picture of you, the R&B star wrote, but I'm blocked again. Anyway, happy birthday, Tay. Now, I do have the picture. Shout out to the Shade Room because that's where I ended up getting it. So give me a second as I pull that up. Yeah, so there's the post courtesy of the Shade Room. Now, the post shared by, as I said, the Shade Room caught Tamar's attention, prompted her to respond. She said, or you could have just called #gaslighting. Um, you know what? I agree with Tamar on this. Now, I'm still with you a little bit on that whole Craig situation and you doubling down. However, you right in this one because Toni could have called you because I feel like, yeah, if you blocked the stuff, you have my number. You could have been like, Miley was good. Like, am I blocked? Why am I blocked? What's going on? But I did hear there was something or another. I saw a headline. I didn't watch it because I don't really like the Impressive Channel. She irritates me. And I feel like she's very much biased when it comes to certain people she talks about, which is why I don't like watching her channel. But I did see, like, in one of the headlines, it said that Tamar, somebody I think stormed off set of them shooting the Braxton season 2 series that they got going on. So I don't know what the details of that is, but I'm guessing that there's some type of tense drama going on with them because of the reality show. And it always seems to be a lot of drama between them whenever they start filming these shows, especially like when the previous Braxton's Family Values, when Tracy, may she rest in peace, was with us, and now they have the new show, the Braxtons, which is just the regular, the sisters that's left, which would be Trina, Toni, Tawanda, and Tamar. And then, of course, Mama Evelyn is in it. And then they'll have other members of the family pop in every now and again. But for the most part, I know they're going to start filming season 2 because it was just announced by WeTV that they greenlit a second season of this new rebooted series, which they decided after, post Tracy passing away. So it feels more like a docuseries rather than a reality show. And I watched a couple of episodes of season 1. I didn't finish it because I just felt like it was just too depressing. And hopefully we'll get to see all this other stuff that works out with their whole situation. Like we'll see all this hopefully play out on the cameras. So we'll get a little more information on it. So yeah, one person said, I'm with Tamar on this one. Everything doesn't have to be put on social media. Clearly her phone number isn't blocked and could have called. No one knew they had any issue until now. Another person said, I sincerely hope they get their acts together. They already lost one sister. Unfortunately, after such a loss, I'd be clutching onto my sisters tight. They'd get sick of me. This is what another person said. And it's like, yeah, that's true. It's like you lost your sister, Tracy. I believe they wound up saying that post what happened with Tracy, that they wanted to promise that they will all just kind of get back together and work things out. But we saw like there was still a little tension between the sisters because, like, in the season of the rebooted franchise, the first season, they were having like group like family therapy sessions, and it seemed like that there was a lot of animosity between them. It was like particularly Tawanda and Tamar were not really seeing eye to eye in a lot of situations, and then we saw like Trina was holding so much in because they said that she was the one that found Tracy dead. Like she was there when, they all took turns taking care of her. And she was the one that happened to be there when Tracy passed. So being there in that room and dealing with that also caused a lot of trauma. And she was self-medicating, which means like Tracy was out here, Trina was out here drinking. So she was self-medicating in that way. We saw it. So now it also continued on where Tamar actually reacted to her sister's remark by posting this photo and said, "It's my MF birthday. Don't get me wrong, I'm so humble. Will always be, but in this chapter, I'll never dim my light so others can shine. This time, I'm remembering who TF I am because I almost forgot. The Tamar Braxton," and saying it's her birthday. She's 48. Shout out to her. Was she older than me? Yeah. I was like, shout out. Happy birthday, Miss Ma Braxton. I saw Albie, who I know is shady, he's shady behind. He be always throwing get Lady Gaga shade and stuff. So happy birthday. Glorilla was up in here. Jasmine Sullivan sent a happy birthday message. Not Fashion Nova. The Brat is up in there. This is Nivea, Sheree Whitfield, Elgin Charles. Yeah, I forgot that he was married. Miss Mamas was married to Jack Hay. So yeah, so she put that picture out. All the people over there are reading, are sending it out, and then she sent out this post too of her with a birthday cake. It is like Saint Tamar's Day, which her birthday I guess falls around St. Patrick's Day because St. Patrick's Day I believe officially was yesterday, but it was St. Patrick's Day weekend. So she's showing that and what she got and all that stuff. So yeah, so the post basically said, "Today has been a very emotional day. I cannot believe how amazing my B-Day has been. I have the most amazing friends that are now my family." Well, isn't that a read? She said that she has the most amazing friends that are now her family, which means it's like, screw her previous family. And I hope, girl, that you will be on Braxton Family Values, or the Braxtons, the film with the show, and not really icing out your family and all this other stuff. So she said, "This time last year, I was struggling, empty, and unloved. I am now 100% whole. I normally go on vacation, but I'm so busy, I had to cancel it. You can't tell me that God isn't so good. He don't play about me because I don't play about him. Thank you all for the well-B-Day wishes and all the true love for me." So this is what she put out there in regards to this. But you know what? I understand like family members fight. You go through your drama and you go through all that other stuff. I really hope that y'all work it out because this family is all you got. But then again, as someone who doesn't have the best relationship with certain siblings, I totally get it. Why it's best to keep certain people at arm's length, especially if you're someone who, when you get to a certain place in your life and a certain age, you're all about trying to protect your peace. So it's like you want to cut the cancer or trim the fat or remove the toxicities from your life. So if there's family members that's doing it, then that's great. Only difference is you're on a different playing field because you're kind of like in the boat of the Kardashians. Whether y'all even like each other or not, you have an obligation when you're doing a TV show that y'all kind of have to film together and try to work out whatever y'all working out for that sake. It's like, yeah, we'll come on and we'll kiki and we'll do the Sicily thing for the show, but after the cameras is done, I'm going about my business. We don't have that closeness. So good luck to y'all. I hope y'all work out whatever it is y'all working out because, it's hard out here in these streets, especially, blood's supposed to be, thicker than water. Family's supposed to be the ones that have your back. But as I said before, as somebody who's been through some things, you start to learn that, what, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. So I say all this to say to you guys, what do you guys think of this story in regards of this Braxton family drama that's going on? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Mm-mm. I said, why do I have the feeling that the huge age group between Tamar and her sisters are the friction? I also feel how the parents, I think it's been, yeah, and that always is the case, that the younger sisters get away with, when you're the youngest, when you're the baby, you get to that point where the parents is like, I'm tired. I did all what I could do with all of you. So by the time we get to the youngest one, it's just like, whatever, child. I'm tired. Go over there with them. Let your sisters take care of you. But it was like, well, wait a minute. But your siblings have spread their legs to have her. You need to continue raising your kids. Don't put all of this off on us because you tired. You should have been tired when you were spreading your legs, taking, Daddy Braxton dick and having all these kids, Mama Evelyn. Don't be putting all this on your sisters. And just be like, you know what? Because I already been, I've been on Toni neck, I've been on Tracy neck, I've been on Tawanda neck, I've been on Trina neck. Now, by the time we got to Tamar, I was like, yeah, I'm over it. I'm exhausted. I ain't got time. I've got other things going on. I got to run around here trying to make sure my husband ain't out here cheating on me and all this other stuff, which allegedly he was doing. Remember, they was big in the whole church circle when it was in Baltimore. So there was all of that. And then I do feel like a lot of that has taken, because they've said it on the show many times that, the friction comes from the fact that Tamar is spoiling. She's gotten away with a lot of stuff. And that can be annoying because I remember that was like a thing that happened too. Like with me and my sister, we were fairly close growing up because she came out a year older. She's a year older than me. So we always had that connection of being close because we did everything together. Then my younger brother came along 3 years later. And he spent a lot of his youth in and out of the hospital because he had kidney issues and all that stuff. So me and my sister always still had that kind of connection. Maybe there was still a disconnect with him because he didn't feel like he could fit in a certain ways. And I've always tried to, growing up, when we could have some type of closeness and connection. We had it for a certain point, but then he got a little older. Then he decided to go and live in Pennsylvania with this family who abandoned him and left him out to figure out how the hell he had to go do what he had to do. And then, there was this, I think where a lot of our beef came from is because I wasn't in the best of places coming up, and because he had so much going for him, and I was still trying to figure out my own stuff, but it was like he had his own house. He was working in like the food industry, like he was a chef and all that other stuff. And whenever he would come back to New York, he would always try to act like he was better than everybody. And I think at one point I got so sick of him trying to flaunt his shit in my face, I cussed his ass out to the point that he hates my guts. And I'm like, it's fine, it's whatever. But it's like, what you're not going to do is try to come for me in a situation and try to make me feel less than because you acting like because everything is going great for you. But now look at you. You almost died because of some reason had a like how you young had a stroke. So you can't, and got suffered from vertigo. You can't do nothing physically for yourself. So now you're disabled, younger than me and disabled. Look how God works. So when you do dirty by people, I told you, until you do right by people, everything you think about and everything you do is going to crumble. Celie done told people. And now you getting yours. So I just let the universe handle shit. I don't even start invoking things on people. I just sit back and watch karma work her magic. And she don't never miss. And so while the elder sisters didn't, it almost seems like the relationship to be like this, anger and forever resentment towards Tamar. She also why L.A. Rita Babyface wanted Toni only because she was 13. Well, at one point the sisters, what the hell was I saying? The sisters was a part of a group at one point. I don't know. I don't remember if Tamar was a part of the group. I know Tamar at one point was trying to be solo. And she was trying to be a solo artist, but the solo stuff wasn't nobody buying that music. And word on the street was she was out here hunching Jermaine Dupri father. And there was another man that she was messing with that allegedly was beating on her. Tamar been through some stuff. And I think what it was Tracy had the resentment towards them because when they were doing the Braxton group, Tracy got pregnant. and they were like, we don't want a pregnant chick being, because that was like a taboo back in the day. Now Cardi B and all of y'all can have babies and stuff, and it's not a damn issue. But back in the day, if you got pregnant and you were supposed to be out here putting music out, your career was done. Or it wasn't going to be as big as it once was. Because remember, it happened to Britney, it happened to Brandy, it happened to a lot of girls back, from my generation. Because I believe I was 5 or 6 between Tamar, Tawana, and Tracy. Toni and Tamar have full decade between their age. Well, thank you. You said, got me to work all day listening to you. Well, that's usually what I do. It was like, this show does help people get through their work shifts. And so I would listen to your show all day. Tamar's debut album was stripper music, and she didn't realize her voice was made for that wasn't made for that hip hop genre. I'm trying to think, because are you talking about like her early album? Are you talking about the album she started doing like once she got successful at the reality show, like Love and War and all that stuff? I'm 5 years older than my sister Sophia and 7 years older than my sister Jessica. Me and Jessica have always had a good relationship. She was the first person in my family I came out to. Yeah, there's always going to be one of those siblings that is just like, you know what, we resonate more with this one rather than the other one. It was like me and my sister had always had like a closeness and a tight connection. We still do. She's still good on my damn nerves, but and she watches my videos too. Cause she likes the ones that I post on TikTok and stuff, because she follows me on TikTok. So she shows her support in that way. And people look, I do have family members that I always wonder, like, do y'all look at this as what I do as a hobby? I mean, shit, I get paid to do this. So how you looking at this as a hobby? I actually make money doing YouTube videos. When y'all like and subscribe and notification bell and all other stuff. So speaking of which, since we're bringing that up, if y'all could please do me a solid and hit that like button and that subscribe button, and also smash the notification bell, because it definitely helps with the algorithm. It also helps with my monetary situation. If you want to drop some super chats and super stickers, you can do that too. I take all of those things, even but ain't too proud to beg. You don't have to give money, but it does help if y'all hit the like and the subscribe and all that other stuff, because it definitely helps with the payments and all that other stuff. So please and thank you. Now, without further ado, let's get into this next topic, because Don Lemon out here talking about how he was at CNN. He was sexually harassed by men and women throughout his career. And he said damn near through his 10-year career at CNN. I almost said MSNBC, but they same shit, different toilet. Now, I was here for the tea. The only problem was I did not like where he went to spill the tea. He went on Bill Maher's podcast, and y'all already know how I feel about Bill Maher. I think Bill Maher is a radicalized Zionistic idiot. I was going to say, well, I think he is xenophobic, but he's a Zionist. He's an idiot. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I just feel like because nobody's really checking for that show Real Time with Bill Maher over there on HBO anymore, he just goes where the wind blows. Like you out here licking Trump's balls and all other stuff. So, but at least in this conversation, I will say it was a good one. So Lemon was a guest on Club Random, Bill Maher's podcast, featuring lengthy and loose interviews with notable cultural figures and newsmakers. Now, nearly over 2-hour episode, the two discussed the shifting landscape of media bias, the existence of rational MAGA Republicans, and Lemon's experiences as a Black homosexual man. Now, early in the episode, the two TV hosts touch on the topic of harassment, and Lemon gives into his brushes with uncomfortable moments in colleagues, which include being touched inappropriately by a woman in a CNN cafeteria and being sexually harassed by a superior in the cable news channel. Now, I do have the clip. Hopefully, we don't get flagged by it after I just cussed out Bill Maher. Said I don't like his ass. But I do have a clip, courtesy of the Twitter. We're going to play that, and then we're going to come back and talk. Please hold.
I'm very interested.
There are some things that
No, I'm interested in this.
There are some things that are really egregious, right? And that,
Like?
not everything is Harvey Weinstein level. And
that's rape.
And then some of the, right, that's a whole different story. I'm not talking about that. And I'm not saying it makes it right, but I remember when I was in Atlanta and was in the cafeteria, commissary, whatever.
At CNN?
At CNN. And this woman, young lady, tweaked my nipples and said, "Oh, it's cold in here." And I said, okay, you realize if I did that, they'd be walking me out the door right now. But I didn't care. I didn't go to HR. I didn't say anything because I was just like, it's a double standard.
Good
it's
for
fine.
you.
Yeah, it's a bit. And also, but I've never told this story as well. Someone who I worked with also harassed me at CNN, and I never went to management. First of all, I was so
a
new
man or
there.
a woman?
A woman. And she knew I was gay. And it was just bizarre. She was going through a divorce. It was just weird. And I never went to management. First of all, I thought like, okay, they may find a way to get rid of me because if I tell this story, I don't know if they're going to believe me or not. But then she was so mean to me after that. I was like, I should have told the story. But yeah, I've been harassed by men and women.
But when, like, what constituted this harassment? Like, what did physically, like in the office, like come in and twirl for me, Don?
It wasn't a twirl for me, but it was not. It was not in the office. But yeah, it's all alcohol. I won't go that far.
So
so it pretty much cuts off there. I wish I would have there would have been more to elaborate on, but you know how YouTube is. I mean, not YouTube, the Twitter, where they only want to go in and just have like a couple of clips and stuff. But he even went on to say that here's the thing. Now, he's absolutely right about that, because if it did come down to a situation where, if you as a man go up to someone, and I saw some big breasted chick and her nipples was just like percolating through her top. If I went over there and like I did a whole tweak or twist, whatever, my ass would have been fired within seconds of me doing that. But I feel like the way that people look at it is like men are supposed to just take any kind of abuse. If we call it out that we're being talked to inappropriately, if we're grabbed or groped, you're called all kinds of names. Or maybe what she was looking at it was, oh, he's a homosexual, so he's not attracted to me sexually, but still, you don't have a right to put your hands on any parts of my body. You don't touch my chest, you don't touch my crotch, you don't grab my ass. I remember, and look, I've been through these situations where I've worked at jobs and I've had women make sexually charged comments towards me about my ass and all this other stuff, because when I would work in certain establishments, the type of clothes that I would wear, which would be, if I work out and I go to the gym and I have like big arms and I have, I work hard on my behind and my legs and those other stuff, and I'm wearing tight jeans or whatever the case is. I want to show off my figure. I want to show off what I've been working out in the gym, but that doesn't give you the right to go and make inappropriate comments or touch me inappropriately, because that's, you need to ask people for consent, and people need to understand that. I don't know if you're thinking that's being complimentary. We've heard many stories about men who come out and said that women are inappropriate to them in that way. This is not, Don won't be the first nor the last to come out and say this. And I'm glad that, where he's in a space where he feels free enough to do that, because, he does work in the independent media space. And what I've been saying many a times before is that I don't mind y'all coming into in the independent media space like YouTube and things, if y'all want to come over here and work on this side of the pond with us. But if y'all gonna come over here, y'all need to leave that corporate media propaganda over there at corporate legacy media. Don't bring that shit over here on YouTube. Don't bring that stuff over here on Twitch. Don't bring that stuff over here on Instagram or TikTok or wherever you like to stream live. Leave that stuff over there for the corporate oligarchs to continue to feed and brainwash they people. Come over here and bring the real stuff. You are not beholden to those corporate people anymore. And I hope that Don is not at a place where he's trying to get back in the good graces of those people, because I feel like your days is over there. And legacy media is dying anyway. But I have noticed that a lot of these corporate media types are jumping over into the YouTube space and still spewing corporate media propaganda. So that's why y'all got to be real careful when it comes down to looking at people who jump in independent media spaces and thinking that they're actually independent media, because they're not. So he also went and decided to elaborate much more on the story, and in the interview talked about how he was sexually abused as a child. I just gotta find out where that is. I don't think he mentioned that this other part, because I want to finish reading the rest of it. So they said, well, we read about the part with the nipples. So then they also said that He launched into a recollection of a unreported incident with a female colleague he says also harassed him, but this time he explains it did not occur on company property. He said, I've never told this story as well. Someone who I worked with also harassed me at CNN, and then I never went to management. Since she knew that I was gay, and it was just bizarre. She was going through a divorce. It was just weird. Now, Lemon said that at the time, he rationalized not reporting the incident because he figured, given the alleged harasser's stature, the company might have found a way to get rid of him. He says that he thought that if he told the story of what happened, he wasn't sure if he'd be believed. Now, after pressure from Mar for some details, Lemon explained that the incident also occurred in Atlanta with a woman whom he had spent time with at business events, which included occasional cocktail parties. Say, remember, this was a while ago, and there was no Uber or anything like that. If you're in Atlanta, the taxis aren't available, he said, telling Mar that he tried to make when he tried to make his exit, he was told to come home with the woman. No, don't go home. No, don't go home. Stay in the guest room, that sort of thing. Lemon did not elaborate further on the incident from there, but told Mar that the CNN employee in question was so mean to me afterward. Ultimately, Lemon concludes, as a man, he is in position to say no, which he believes may not always be the case when the roles are reversed. He says, I'm an adult, and maybe I think it's different for men and women, depending on the power structure. I think it's flattering as long as you can send them off easily. As a man, I could say, no, I'm not interested. Lemon then made a surprising revelation to Mar that he was also abused as a child, the M word. He says, but also someone who was molested as a child is a different thing. He said, causing Mar to interject and confirm that he just heard what he heard his guest reveal. Because you know how to deal with it, and you know what's really important or not, and you know, like, who has the power. I figure as a man, I have the power to say, I don't want to. I don't need to go to HR to ruin your career. I'll just tell you, I'm not interested in this. You were drunk. We had a couple of drinks or whatever. Let's let it go. The Hollow Reporter, they said, also reached out to CNN representative on Monday to comment. Well, first of all, how you going to reach out to a CNN rep to comment when you don't even know who the hell it is that he was talking about? But I guess because y'all need to vet and do your typical whatever, y'all got to check and make sure that stuff is accurate or whatever the case is. But if he ain't revealed to y'all who it was, and it might not even be documented, but how you gonna reach out to CNN and ask them what their opinion is? He don't work there no more. I don't think he cares. So, shout out to Don Lemon. I'm glad that you was out here spilling your tea and living your truth and all this other stuff. I just don't like where you actually went to spill your tea at. But it's better than going on Club Shay Shay because Miss Shannon, she out here giving some of the worst a damn platform and being dragged for it. I don't know what happened. I guess now that you done ran through and grifted with your own people, now you putting on some of the worst white folks, kind of like Gavin Newsom and all them radical Republicans that he's out here, those Republican extremists, I should say, that he's out here interviewing, and basically because he wants to give hand jobs to them rather than asking real questions. So anyway, I say all this to say, about our country. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to what Don Lemon is saying about him being sexually harassed by women? I would have loved to have heard the stories about who was the men's that was out here trying to get all up in get them cookies. That's what I want to know. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Said Reed Shannon. I can't stand that old Miss Netta looking bitch. That motherfucker do look like Miss Netta out of drag. But yeah, recently he did. I forgot who who was it that I forgot who it was that he interviewed that just like recently that was like, or is interviewing that was like pissing me off. So, Miss Netta look like Miss Netta out of drag, bad skin and all. But anyway. You know what I heard is really aged? And I saw this in a recent article, Diddy, because, he don't got that Beijing in his hair. So now everything went gray. They said he lost a lot of weight. He got gray hair, gray, in the hair, the facial hair, and all the other stuff. I'm like, well, damn, has he been through it? So it makes a whole lot of sense. I was waiting for you to say something. Miss Lemon needs to write a tell-all book. Okay, so Okay, so now let's go from one harasser allegedly to another, and let's talk about Michael Jackson. So Wade Robson, you know, the man that Britney Spears cheated on Justin Timberlake with allegedly, he had her coochie crying like a river. Is out here speaking out on Michael Jackson and said that why he defended him back in the 2000s when he was accused of molesting another kid. So Robson claims that Jackson groomed him from the age of 7 to 14 after meeting the star when he won a Michael Jackson dance impersonation contest. He and another accuser, James Sapechuk, have teamed up as they sue the late singer's estate in a bid for justice, a campaign that has been documented in Leaving Neverland 2, Electric Boogaloo, which airs on Channel 4 tonight. Now, despite his it's not called Electric Boogaloo, it's called Surviving Michael Jackson, but y'all know. Now, despite the accusation, in 2005, Wade took to the stand and defended Jackson when he was accused of repeatedly molesting a 13-year-old boy, which led to a jury in Santa Barbara finding the star not guilty. Reflecting on his decision to testify in Jackson's defense in the documentary, Wade recalled how the singer had repeatedly asked him to speak up in his defense, saying, quote, Jackson said, "We can't let them do this to us. We can't let them take us down. Us, us, us. I definitely had a real fear of what he said about if anyone ever found out that he and I would go to jail." Now, Wade and James' former lawyer, Vince Finaldi, claimed that the Thriller singer would repeatedly ring him and kept begging him for help. Somehow, I worked up the courage to tell Michael that I didn't want to testify, Wade said, but he was then served a subpoena by the court, meaning he had to provide evidence in the trial. He told the documentary he lied during the court case in order to protect Jackson. And then he went on to say, "I love Jackson. Jackson loves me. We're a happy family." No, he actually said, "I love Michael. Michael loved me. This was something that happened between us. That's it. It didn't bother me. I'm okay. I'm fine. It would be a big deal to everyone else, but it's not a big deal to me. So it's not worth the trouble." And during the trial, Wade was asked if Jackson had ever touched him sexually. He said, "No, absolutely not," adding, "I just looked him in the eye and was clear." So what is all this about then? Like, you talking about that he groomed you and what? So basically, wait a minute. I'm confused because wasn't there a whole Leaving Neverland story where he ran around saying that Michael did do things to him, and now you're trying to say that he never sexually touched you? Or am I missing something? But you saying that. So what do you need money for? The fact that you trying to get money out of this already because you saying that you lied on his behalf and that he groomed you as a kid? Like, in what way? Like, I need details on what was the grooming process. What do you mean by grooming? Because a lot of people have different meanings for what grooming is. So he said, "I wasn't able to tell the truth. Absolutely not. Wade was the first witness for the defense, and prosecutor Ron Zonin was asked with cross-examining him at the time." So he basically was saying that he was lying on the stand, that that Michael never touched him, but he's trying to say that he actually was molested by Michael Jackson. But if you were sitting there willing to lie on the stand, as you claim, what makes us think that you ain't lying now? So they said, he spoke well, presented well. That's why he was the first witness for the defense, he told the program. He added he did not believe Wade would be prosecuted for perjury because the situation wasn't within his emotional control. Now, lawyer Vince said a child as a victim is not going to come forward and say what happened until they're ready. Wade also opened up about the burning personal items linked to Jackson after speaking to his therapist. He said, "As those items were burning and I was looking at them melt and disintegrate into the fire, I was speaking to Michael's spirit. I said, 'Michael, I'm going to turn your wrong into a right.'" It wasn't until after Wade got married and had a son of his own that he brought lawsuits against MJJ Productions and MJJ Ventures, the production companies that were owned by the singer at the time of his death in 2009. They brought on these lawsuits and alleged that their interactions with Michael Jackson were organized by his staff, who they claim were aware of the abuse they claimed they suffered. Now, James said it was a big decision on whether to join the lawsuit or not, eventually filing one in 2014, a year after Wade. He said, I wanted to fight for little James, fight for him, and fight for myself. I'm recently trying to connect with the little James and imagine telling him that it's okay, that I loved him, so I'm trying to reconnect with myself as a child. Well, you better connect with that inner child, honey. That's the only way you're going to find, what it is you're looking for. However, in 2017, Wade and James's cases were thrown out by the courts because of the statute of limitations. The time period under which former child abuse victim would take legal action had expired. I really wish they would stop putting expiration dates on abuse of any kind. Like, there's not going to be a specific time frame in which somebody's going to come forward with being abused. Like they stated earlier in this article, people aren't going to come out and talk about their abuse until they're ready. Which is why I always find it funny when people talk about, just in general, that, well, why didn't you bring this up 15 years ago when it happened? Why you didn't bring this up 30 years ago when it happened? And it's like, have you ever been abused? Like, how you going to sit there and put a time frame on when somebody should come forward with any kind of anything that happens to them? You don't get to determine that. And you don't know how people deal with trauma in different ways. People aren't a monolith. So you have to give people the time and the grace and the courage to go through all the things that they need to go through to get to the point they need to get to in order to deal with whatever their situation is. So they also went on to say, however, the law changed and extended the statute of limitations, but reporting childhood SA from the time a victim is age 26 to 40. But the alleged victim had their cases thrown out by the court again, leading to them taking it to the California Court of Appeals. Three justices conducted a hearing remotely in 2023 and ruled in favor of Wade and James to bring the civil claims to court. They also went on to say Vince, who listened to the appeal case, said the Jacksons team don't believe they had any duty whatsoever to protect these kids, and they likened the abuse to a child drowning in a pool and someone walking by and having no duty to do anything. You just stand there and watch the child die. Jackson's companies argue that they need at least 3 years to prepare for a trial, and a date was set for May of 2026. Now, Vince has since retired from the case and passed it on to John Carpenter. There's got to be more than one, because, John Carpenter is the iconic film director. So he passed it on to John Carpenter, who believes the organizations are hoping to continue delaying the case so they can continue profiting off of Michael Jackson's name. The truth of what Michael Jackson did is very inconvenient. The more delay they have, the more money they make. Well, I didn't know they were making money off the case. That's news to me. Now, they said, reacting to the upcoming case, Wade said, whatever the final outcome is, I don't see how I lose. If I get the opportunity to get back in there and get on the stand and tell the truth like I wasn't able to for decades, that's a win for me. Similarly, James said that he wants to find the strength and fight for his childhood self to be heard, saying it has also been reported elsewhere that the same Chucks testified for the defense in Jackson's child molestation trial brought on by Jordan Chandler in 1993. Is that the story that I believe was supposed to be the Jordan Chandler story? I'm asking. Isn't that the story that they were going to actually have in the Michael Jackson biopic? But because apparently some idiot at the damn estate didn't read the fine print of the legalities of it all, that there's like, you cannot bring up this trial at all in any kind of anything that has to do with the Jacksons, that what they ended up doing is they have to reshoot the entire third act. I'm wondering if this is the case that they have to, that was a part of it. So they said James would have been in his early teens. It was alleged that afterwards that Jackson brought them a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. However, James claimed that by the time a second trial for Gavin Arvizo came around in the 2000s, he has distanced himself from Jackson, who he claims threatened to expose him for perjury in the 1993 case. Channel 4 said that they made repeated requests over 6 years for interview and comment from the legal team repping Michael Jackson's businesses. However, they have declined to comment. Well, yeah, that's not happening. But my thing is, okay, so you get to say all of this. Y'all continue to push out with the documentaries. You get on the stand. You testify. No shame, but this is literally your word against Michael's. Michael is dead. He's been dead for over, I think he's been about as dead as Lady Gaga's been famous. 15 years. So what story, I mean, what do you plan on getting out of this? I guess maybe it's peace of mind. You get to feel like you're vindicated in some sort of way. But I don't know how you feel like this is going to be a win. Like, Michael is not here to defend himself. The man is 6 feet under. How's this going to be a win? But I guess, you know what? This is what y'all got to figure out. And I know with this series that I just referred to, it's not even being released in the United States. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can find it on YouTube, but it's on, you got to be in the UK in order to watch it. On the BBC on one of them damn channels. You know, BBC got like 8 damn channels with the BBC on it. First of all, how y'all name yourself at the Big Black Cock? That's what I want to know. But anyway, I'll say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards of Wade Robson and James Staplechuck speaking out and giving their side of the story in the part 2 of the, you know, Michael Jackson is a child diddler series. So whatever y'all's thoughts are on this, let me know in the comments down below. I was like, let me close these windows. And let's see what the people are saying. He is a whole lot. I don't understand why he keeps opening his trap. Well, they were saying that the more they keep delaying this trial, they make money off of it. Statutes of limitations are absolute trash. They give predators an out. Yeah, I agree with that. There needs to not be a statute of limitations. I feel like the law needs to catch up with the rest of the world. And not come to spend the night, Mikey. I shouldn't be laughing at that, but it was funny. It says statute of limitations. Yeah, I think they need to remove statute of limitations from people. Like, that is just the dumbest thing. Lanier says, I don't know. He might be telling the truth, but the timing seems suspect because when he testified on Michael's behalf, he was a hot name. But when he changed his story, I mean, yeah, remember at one point, Wade Robson was like the go-to choreographer back in the day. Remember, he came up with the iconic Slave for You choreography for Britney. He was also, you know, banging out Britney as well. He was doing the Backstreet Boys. He was doing NSYNC. He was doing a lot of Justin Timberlake. Like, he was working with a lot of the big names in those days. So yeah, you know, whenever you watched Making the Video on MTV, you seen Wade was around a lot. And I believe that Wade was supposed to be a part of Michael Jackson's tour, right? At one point, I forget which one. It might have been the recent one that he was in before, you know, the propofol took him out. And I think Michael kind of just like tossed him aside, and maybe he feeling bitter about it. And he might be on a little revenge tour because you spend your whole life basically emulating everything Michael was doing. So it could be sour grapes, like Lanier is implying. Some people can't talk about it for years and years. Absolutely. So it's like, you never know what somebody's going through. Gaga owns more Michael Jackson clothing items than it's going to be on YouTube. That's what I was saying. It's like, yeah, it's going to be on YouTube if y'all care to watch it. Me, I don't care. I didn't even see the first Finding Neverland, Leaving Neverland, whatever the part of Neverland they talk about. I didn't even watch the first one. I didn't care. If it happens as a little kid, it messes your mind up and people process things differently. Absolutely. Excuse me, they definitely want Gen Z over and they believe the boys, but they admit the older generation that grew up with MJ. Agreed. So I feel like there will be an age situation, like young people who have no connection to Michael Jackson. Of course, they're going to believe, you know, Wade and all these other people because, you know, that's just the way their energy is going to go. But for those of us who grew up with Michael Jackson, it's like, yeah, it's going to be hard for us to kind of want to believe that sort of thing. So I do think that an age gap would kind of play into that. They definitely, okay, so it says, seems like Michael was normal in the context of billionaire entertainment industry. Well, they always, you know. Well, look, did Michael come out here and just change his entire skin color? They blame it on the vitiligo, but I call bullshit on that. But and then on top of that, you know, the rest of the family, they be wanting to be white so damn bad. When you look at all them kids, that's why I find it funny that Janet had the nerve, the cheek, the absolute unlitigated gall to question Kamala Harris mixed race. But I'm like, bitch, all of y'all be running out here down with the swirl. So I know you not out here trying to read people on what race they are. Your brother didn't even know if he was black or white. A lot of y'all lay down with racially ambiguous women and men. First of all, your brothers is nasty too, because both of them fucked the same woman and had kids with them. So if we really gonna go there, how messy these Jacksons are, we can go there. And he said the whole "when I had a kid, I snapped" thing is not very. It's like, once I looked in my child's eyes, and all of a sudden they clicked to me. I don't want my kid to go through what I went through. And it sounds very much like something out of a soap opera. Yeah, Brown Bunny laughing at that. It was like, Way Ross was placed by Jamie King because MJ wanted the Madonna type spec. Exactly. And you already know, like, Jamie King, if you really want like fabulous creative direction for your shows, like he is like the go-to person in regards of like being a creative director of a live tour. You better clock it. Oh, I forgot about that. It was like, yeah, Jamie King is the go-to person because of many of Madonna's iconic tours. He put together all of them, even up to, I believe, when did he start with her? I think it was the Drown World. He worked with her from the Drown World tour, if I'm not mistaken, up until the Celebration tour. Why did I almost forget the name of that tour? So yeah, he's been with her for like since then. So about 25 years. You better clock it. There are some people who repeat the cycle, but then there are people who blame advocates to help people. Black or white songman. Okay. He said, it seems like a lot of coloreds, not coloreds, in Hollywood love getting with the white race. It's even bigger in the South. The black guys around here would never. That's look, we be here all day trying to break down that conversation. And he said there was definitely abuse of the Jackson. Probably starting with Joe. So, all kinds of mess was going on up in there. So I don't put nothing past them Jacksons. Like Kaya said, why is there no pure black kid? It's always mixed. That's the entire family with the exception of Miss Centipede, Rebe. Wait, Rebe, all her kids is black? I didn't know that. Yes, like they all down with the swirl. All them children, all of them. Rebe and Catherine, the only ones that actually had pure black kids up in that damn house. Everybody else was down with the swirl. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it just goes to show, like, the way that y'all operate. Why not read that LaToya comment? It said the only tour he didn't do was the MDNA tour, but it was still very much Madonna, which says everything. Colleen, yes, she does. Colleen, call up William Baker, please. Wait, who worked on the MDNA tour? I gotta look back on that. LaToya gets not violated. But anyway, let's get into some homosexual news. And let's talk about the Nasty Pig co-founder. Now, I do love me some Nasty Pig because as someone who has frequently shopped at their store in Chelsea, I don't even know if it's still there anymore. But I've noticed that since then, their fashions have definitely improved over the years. I've been liking a lot of their stuff. If you ever go on their Instagram page, they got a lot of really fabulous clothes over there. And I remember one time they did like some shoots with a couple of queer celebrities, and they had Billy Porter up there trying to give Eagle leather daddy tees with the fashions, and they turned off the damn comments because they knew that if they went and posted the Billy Porter stuff, y'all would have probably been up in there dragging Miss Mamas and them bottom teeth over what was perspiring in them photos. So I was like, I'm glad y'all turned off the pictures. But anyway, let's get into this story. So Nasty Pig is a clothing, underwear, and accessories company founded in 1994 by Out 100 honorees Frederick Kearney and David Lauderstein that says it is very first gay culture brand in history. Which it is. The company sells jock straps, which I have plenty of, leather harnesses, rubber sheets, clothing, jewelry, and more. Now, the company's CEO, Lauderstein, who released a new statement calling for the queer community to come together in every nation and do things that make you feel so fucking gay. So Lordestein has been traveling the country in support of his new book, Sodomy Gods. Who doesn't love a sodomy god? Maybe I should get that tattooed on my arm. And said and said in a statement posted to Instagram, or get it on a t-shirt, after all the love and support he got from the Nasty Pig community, he's been looking for a way to meet the moment we are in now, referencing the current political climate. So he went and posted this thread over on his Instagram and said the following. He says, "My fellow Nasty Pigs, as I travel the country in the fall of 2024 to support the release of my book, Sodomy Gods, I got to meet so many of you face to face. One thing that I heard from you over and over again was how much those letters I sent out mean to you. How they always manage to strike the right chord and meet the moment. So believe me when I tell you, I've been trying for weeks to figure out how to meet the moment we are in now. But the onslaught of assaults on our community have been coming at a breakneck pace, from challenges to gay marriage to making their way through the courts to the installation of an HIV denialist at the head of the HSS to relentless attacks against trans people. I feel like we are going backwards fast. It's all so dizzying and demoralizing that it can leave you feeling paralyzed, unsure how to react, if you even want to react at all. It could leave you feeling worn down and uncomfortably numb. But don't do that. Don't feel numb. Do something. Anything that makes you feel powerful. Do things that make you feel so fucking gay and strong and that rainbows come shooting out of your asshole." Oh, can you imagine that? Shout out to the gay unicorns. Now, maybe that's boycotting a corporation who stripped away protections for gay people, which we are doing that. And not only that, but black folks is doing it too with Target. Target is losing billions of dollars. Tesla is going through their stuff. There's mass Tesla, protests. People are burning them. People are destroying them. I've heard the dealerships are under fire. That word on the curb is they're about to strip Elon of his CEO duties over there because he's bleeding money. Because he'd rather just come in and just suck money out of our government and talk about that Social Security is something that is a hindrance on our community when it's something we buy into once you start working. Like Social Security is not a negative. It's something that when we retire, that is our money. So the fuck he talking about? But this, of course, comes from a welfare queen robber baron who came over to our country illegally, trying to tell us how to run our shit. Fuck out of here, Leatherface. So now let me get into what David said. Let me continue, because I always gotta hit apartheid Clyde with a damn stray. So now they said, maybe it's making a donation or marching to support a cause that close to your queer heart. Maybe it's putting on a conspicuous crop top and going to brunch, or closing the curtains and blasting abracadabra, una as you learn the choreo and the Nasty Pig jockstrap. Maybe you just need to get into a sling and connect intimately with like-minded people, finding strength in numbers and hummers and strangers and lovers. I don't care what you do to feel gay. If it makes you feel sexy and empowered, then do it in spades. Don't you waste any energy caring about what others think in your chosen remedy to the chaos. There is nothing illegal about being you. Gather up your intellect and your emotions and your spirituality and your sexuality and combine them all into one powerful light that will outshine all the fucking darkness of the day. You're so fucking gay, and that superpower cannot be taken away from you by anyone else ever. Love, yours in sodomy, David Lauderstein. And you want to know something? I couldn't have said it better than myself, because I feel like, while people out here think that we just using gay as a crack, why y'all have to do it? No, that's our superpower. Then that's what they fear. So go out there and in the words of Emma Honeycutt from Queer as Folk, let your flame burn bright. Don't let these people try to make you dim who you are and turn you away from who you are, because that's where our power lies, in us being out here, strength in numbers, showing who we are. That is our act of protest. Even if you don't want to feel like you want to go out there and hold up a hey, hey, ho, ho, homophobia's got the go sign, you can go out there in your own way, in your cute little shorts, because summer is right around the corner. When it's spring next week, spring's about to sprung. It's about to get nice and warm out here. I'm going to be out here in my little shorts and my tank tops, looking cute, trying to pick up some ass, showing my act of protest, and me being a whore. And that's what you got to do out here. It's like, we need to Shout out from the rooftops of who we are. Because remember, when we had Pride, Pride was a protest. We got tired of people trying to tell us or arresting us for being homosexuals, or the fact that, you know what, when it came down to it, it was the drag queens, it was the trans women, it was the faggots that was out here who was throwing bricks and causing damage in the West Village, which is how we wound up getting what we had, the Stonewall riots. So we have to remember our history. And unfortunately, in life, history tends to repeat itself. And we cannot let these fascists win, where they want to strip back a lot of our stuff. Because word on the street is, I just saw this yesterday, they're trying to make being trans a felony in Texas. And not only that, they're trying to roll back gay marriage in Texas. So if y'all think that it's only going to stop at the trans community, oh no, they're coming after all of us. They're coming back after the L, the G, the B, the T, the Q, the I, and the A, and the plus. They're coming after all of us. So if you sitting out here thinking that only one community is affected and that y'all can look the other way, oh, I got news for you. So wake up, buttercup. And I'm here for every word that David had to say. And I've always been out here using sex and all these other things as an act of protest. And I know it's easy for me to say that because living in New York, I get to live out loud and proud. But it took me a long time to get to a place where I could march to the beat of my own drum with no fucks given. And ain't no way in hell, with this platform I got in this big ass mouth, I ain't going back in nobody's closet. Closets is for clothes, not for people. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards of what David had to say? I almost called him Alex Lawlenstein, the DJ. David Lawlenstein had to say about, you know, letting y'all flame burn bright, in the words of Emma Honeycutt over there at Queer as Folk. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. And that concludes my speech of the day. You said both Wade and James said that MJ rimmed them, but that's it. Really? I was like, no, he was out here eating the cake. I know Anna Mae wasn't out here eating the cake, child. You said those are very specific allegations just to be completely made up. My mom said Joe beat his kids in the chest because the abuse wouldn't show in the face. I mean, the abuse would, and get shows canceled. Well, look, I knew how to get around beating Tina. I knew how to cover that up. And much as I love the Jacksons and what they contribute, they dealt with colorism and anti-blackness, particularly from their father, who bought their features. And look, first of all, I know he ain't out here trying to read people's futures. First of all, they had that big ass nose. They got it from you. So how you sit there get mad at them for their features? Bitch, you the one that got a nose that spread from one side of your cheeks to the other. So how you mad at your kids for developing genes that come from your body, dummy? No one is stupid asses that I ain't never liked Joe Jackson. I mean, I like what he gave us in regards to the Jackson 5 and Janet and Michael and all that stuff. But as a father, he was a piece of shit. But I can't wait to see what they're going to do with him. Well, Coleman Domingo does playing him in the biopic whenever that movie finally comes out. A lot of people knew Joe was abusive, but back in those days, they don't talk about it. It was the norm. What would straight guys know about women? You'd be surprised when you're around enough homosexuals, especially in the entertainment industry. I guess you would. Well, I don't know why, but I always looked at Wade like he might have been part of the community. He kind of has that. He has gay face, or is it just me? And he said they born in the 70s. This is more 90s heterosexual-ish. I'm really questioning if they're actually straight and not wanting. Oink oink. Okay. Tesla shareholders are selling their stocks as we speak, as they should. I mean, as they should. As they should, is what I was saying. That makes sense, because, Jamal Sims did say that he worked with Madonna. So, that makes sense. And, Chad, I love me some Jamal Sims. If I ever saw that man in person, I'm sorry, but I'm going to jump on him. And I haven't met him yet, but I'm like, Jamal is fine as hell. I'll be like, if he ever shows up at a Drag Race premiere, I'm climbing that man. I know you married, but it's my theory. It's outside enemy nations who want to wear down our economic strengths. The enemy of the state is our own. Yes, it is. That's why some people say a Russian agent. We got to bully the billionaires. Yes, we do. The gays, the blacks, Latinos, and Arab Muslims for Trump have been very quiet. Of course they have. Yeah, they're coming for you, stupid. Log cabin is pretty quiet. No, they not. You know what, Brown Bunny? I need you to log on. He said either they quiet or making up desperate attempts to save face. Oh no, we cussing their ass out. The only people I feel for are the ones who are so deep in the cult that they're waking up and they're making videos like, oh, we thought, and blah, blah. I said, well, look, y'all fuck around, find out error. Y'all need to go through that. Next time, just do better. So those are the ones I'm like, okay. But the rest of you, your silence is real deafening. The Trump Middle East vote has been ashamed and seeing their absolutely. Well, look, this is what they voted for. Because I told you all the current wars that's going on that the media is not talking about, the war in Yemen and all these other places that the people that help try to jump in and help all these other people because they saw like what Israel was doing, and now look where we are. Y'all doing sneak attacks while we all asleep. 400 people dead. Thank you. I'm glad I wasn't the only one. You said Wade being a dancer too. Well, he's not beating the allegation. Well, not all dancers are gay, but anyway. All right, y'all. So let's move on to our next topic. And let's talk about the Traitors. So the Traitors is done. And out put together their dream cast, who they would like to see on season 4. Now, we already talked about the other day how Peppermint and Ariana Grande's brother, Frankie, I almost forgot his damn name until I said it. It was like Frankie Grande, who I didn't know they were a part of the whole Glad Media situation. So they wrote like an open letter where they wanted to see more queer inclusion in reality TV shows, which I've been windmilling hard for the longest. And I even said I have plenty of ideas for reality shows that I think that people would watch, and there needs to be diverse versions of that. So even with the shows they got like Big Brother and was it The Challenger? All those shows do require more queer representation. Even the Traitors, because I was sitting there looking at it like, why is there only one Drag Race girl a season that comes in and deals with that? So, with that being said, they put together a list of people that they would like to see be on season 4, because the only queers that we had from Drag Race, we had who was it? Peppermint was in the season 2, and season 3 we had Bob the Drag Queen, and Bob the Drag Queen was everything. So basically they said that they came with their own, the gayest contestants they can think of the people that would like to be on this season. So one person they picked was RuPaul Charles. Now, one of the things we know about Mama Ru, she loves a game show. However, I cannot see Ru doing the Traitors. Ru is not, with all the damn Drag Race spinoffs that she got going on, when will she have the time to actually go film the Traitors? Like, I'll be honest, I would do the Traitors. Like, if I get famous enough, I would definitely love to go on the Traitors and do that. That is a show that I would literally, I don't know if would I be a good traitor though? Or would I be a faithful? I don't know. Sometimes I'll be a little too honest, but I could be messy. Just keep me around long enough. Like, I'll give you good TV. I would do that. I was thinking, would I ever do House of Villains? I don't think I'm mean enough to be doing House of Villains. I haven't proven myself in that department. But I love Mama Ru. And I know she loves a game show. And I know she does Hollywood Squares, because I've seen a couple of episodes, the new one. I don't know if she has that, what is it, Bolingo, whatever it was that she was doing, some type of game show or whatever the case is, outside of the Drag Race spinoffs. As much as I think that I would love to see RuPaul on that show, I cannot see her going on that show. Plus, I think she knows Alan Cumming. Sidebar, my friend Daniel Nardicio, who also owns Red Eye, he also co-owns Club Cumming with Alan Cumming. Just a little tea. Also, they picked Lisa Rinna. Now, Lisa Rinna, she would definitely do this show. Like, Lisa Rinna, I could definitely see her doing the Traitors. So I would love to see Lisa Rinna on the show. You know, I don't know if she'd ever come back to doing the Housewives. I mean, I remember she went and got into it with Andy Cohen recently, and where she had to apologize when she was on his Radio Andy show or whatever. But as much as, and look, I'm living for the drama currently on the Housewives of Beverly Hills, and she may not ever come back to that. But I would love to see her back on TV in the form of a reality show, game show, whatever the case is. I could definitely see her on the Traitors. The next person they also picked, and I was like, I would rather see Luigi Mangione on there before I see this lady. And they picked Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Hell no. So they said, yeah, this lady who pleaded guilty to second-degree murder of her own mama was in jail for 10 years, and they told me we should have her on there. What part of her being gay is entertaining or whatever? I guess maybe they think she's like a gay icon. Gay icon? Chill. I would rather see the lady that played, what was it, Charlize Theron, you know, the woman that she was, Eileen Wuornos. I would rather see her resurrected on the Traitors before I want to see some damn Gypsy Rose Blanchard. The next person they pick is Maury Povich. Now, we know he messy. But I don't know if Maury Povich will last an episode, let alone a couple episodes, let alone the first episode doing the Traitors. So no. Next. Okay. Now, there's a person I already mentioned in the earlier part of the show, Frankie Grande. Now, you know, one of the things I will say, and I told you, I have bumped into Frankie so many damn times. Whenever I'm out at events, I'm always running into him. Most recently, I saw him at the Drag the Musical with Alaska, which is about to close its doors at the end of next month in April. So if y'all haven't gotten y'all tickets, definitely go check that out. But Frankie Grande, they basically, you know, with him, I could definitely see him doing the show. You know, he is someone who is a veteran within the reality TV space. He was on Big Brother. He almost won season 16. I believe he's done Big Brother twice. He also, like, I recently was watching him on Worst Cooks in America, and he's fairly entertaining on it. And also, he just dropped the music video. I didn't particularly like the video as much. The song is cute. The video felt a little anticlimactic to me. But and he's up there doing his thing, that hair, whipping that hair back and forth, giving you full out choreography. But Frankie is someone who's very entertaining. And you know, while his sister is occupying the movie space, the mainstream music space, he's occupying the reality TV space. So he's got the small screen on lock. I would definitely love to see Frankie Grande next season doing the Traitors. So get him on there. Another person they said, and you know, she's not doing this because first of all, she has a day job, Whoopi Goldberg. Now she's doing, excuse me, she has The View. Now, unless y'all plan on shooting the next season of the Traitors during that month when they have off from the season, which would be August, because I know that they usually give them the month of August off, and then they come back the first week of September. So if y'all plan on shooting the Traitors around that time, I could definitely see that. But I cannot see, you know, as much as we love Whoopi Goldberg, I definitely would not. I do not see her doing the Traitors. Another person they pick is her fellow The Color Purple star, Oprah Winfrey. Now, you know, we love us some Oprah. However, anyway in hell Oprah doing some damn the Traitors. So I don't even know why y'all even thought about bringing her name in this. Now, another person they picked was Tyler Henry. Now, if Tyler Henry is a Hollywood medium, right? But they also said, I was like, wouldn't he already know who the Traitors are? Because if you were clairvoyant or medium, I don't know if I want you on my show. Because it's like, you're going to be already knowing who I pick as a damn traitor before I even choose who the Traitors are. But they said he did the Traitors Australia. So I don't know how he did over there because I don't know. Is the Traitors, I know they have different versions of the Traitors on Peacock, but I don't know if they have the Australian version. I would have to check. So they said some chick by the name of June Song. I don't know who that is, but apparently she was on Big Brother. Let me pull up her picture. So yeah, her. So I don't really watch Big Brother like that, so I don't know who that is. But yeah, they said that she would be a delightful addition to any reality program, let alone as backstabbing as the Traitors, because she won Big Brother apparently. Now another person they said is Lanithia Monique Leaks, aka Nene Leaks. Now we may not get Nene back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta quite as it's kept. You know what? As much as I love Nene, I don't even want her to come back. I don't even care about this current season of Atlanta Housewives that came back. I've already heard that this season so far is about as dry as watching the season so far of White Lotus, or as Whoopi Goldberg likes to call it, Caucasian Lotus. So, I don't know if I care enough to want to see Nene come back to Housewives. Let Housewives die. However, now that she's back in the good graces of NBC and she was doing that red carpet stuff over there, I think she'd be perfect to do the Traitors. So y'all definitely need to get her on that show. Now, we did mention somebody who was problematic earlier, like Gypsy Rose Blanchard, right? They had the nerve to say some damn Colleen Ballinger. Now, if y'all don't know about Colleen, hell no. Colleen is like the worst. That's like y'all getting JoJo crazy ass Siwa, who was looking a hot ass mess at the iHeartRadio one. Did y'all see JoJo Siwa out here looking like a lesbian Teletubby with that foolishness on top of her head? I'm like, you're really out here craving for attention. She also made an announcement I didn't give a good goddamn enough to look into. But Colleen Ballinger, hell no. I would rather see James Charles before I see some damn Colleen damn Ballinger. Now, another person they decided to pick was Tan France. Now, issues with Bobby Burke aside, I wouldn't mind seeing Tan France on there. However, I don't know if Tan France will be entertaining enough because quiet as it's kept, that other show that he was on, the reality show where it was like what was it, Next in Fashion? He wasn't really given what needed to be given in regards to that show. I don't even know if that show's coming back. So, I don't know about Tan France, but I do love eye candy. So, if y'all do decide to pick somebody from Queer Eye, let's go with Anthony Porowski. So I would definitely see his fine, cute little self up on there and see what he actually brings to the show. Now, another person they ended up saying, and you know this ain't happening, Steve Harvey. So yeah, we got little old Steve Harvey out here who they talking about, yeah, let's get Steve Harvey on the show and do, the Traitors. Now, I don't know if we could see, no, Steve Harvey ain't doing that show. As many jobs as he got, anyway, in hell, he doing that. Now, another person they decided to choose, someone from Drag Race, and I only seen so far the one Drag Race girl, Sasha Colby. So, I'm like, you know what? Now, I love me some Sasha. She is one of the busiest queens. She is an icon. She is the legend. She is the moment before she was on Drag Race. And so I would love to see her on there and see if she can secure that $200,000 prize pot. So I definitely like to see her on there. Now, another person they decided to pick also because, we got to have footballers or athletes of some sort, Marshawn Lynch. So, he's a football player. Now he's an actor. And I think that he would definitely be entertaining to watch on this show. So it'd be cool to see him. Now, another person they picked, damn, y'all really like picking these problematic broads. They said some damn Trisha damn Paytas. I was like, oh no. So we're going to go with Miss Trisha Paytas. But, she was on Celebrity Big Brother UK season 20. She was recently in Katy Perry's music video, that horrible Woman's World one. And whatever. I was like, I don't know who this is, but he cute. They said Alan Takahashi, who is from the boy. Is it the boy from that gay reality show, the dating show that was on Netflix? I never got around to watching it. I'm like, oh, you cute. How you doing, Mr. Takahashi? Maybe I need to hold on. Let me follow you. As I look me over here looking for some new meat, while I'm over here trying to find out who should be a part of this cast. Now, they did pick somebody else. They said, now the next person we're going to go into, Jason Kelsey. Well, we ain't getting Travis. So let's get the next best thing and let's get his brother, Jason. So Jason's actually pretty funny. He's entertaining. And I think he would actually be a good addition to the show. So I definitely could see that. Now, also, in addition to Jason, they said, now, what about Travis? Well, I don't know if we're gonna get Travis, because one of the things about Travis is he has not retired from football. So I can definitely see like Travis is still gonna continue with, being a footballer, and I guess he'll still stick with the same team. But and as much as I like Travis and as entertaining as Travis is, I do not think that he would actually Kansas City Chiefs. Almost forgotten which damn team he played for. But I was like, with his cachet being with Taylor Swift, it has definitely boosted his status in the entertainment world. But I don't see if he would do the Traitors. Although I would be thoroughly entertained if he actually came in and decided to do it. Let me see. Is there anybody else that's like? Because I think we almost at the finish line. Oh, now they did say somebody that we've seen her so many freaking times on every other reality show, and y'all already know that there cannot be a reality show that doesn't exist that doesn't include the HBIC herself, Tiffany New York Pollard. So yeah, she is a reality TV legend. She is an icon. She is the moment. Yes, I'm gonna run that Wendy Williams line into the ground. But New York has been everywhere as of late. I would love to see her on this show. Like she was just on House of Villains season 2. I just saw her on Worst Cooks in America alongside Frankie Grande. So it's like, yeah, she would definitely be a great addition to come on and do the Traitors. It would definitely work in her favor. And plus, a lot of her iconic lines, "You are a fat cunt." Remember that? It's like some of the lines that she could be delivered on the show. We need that from Miss New York. And the one thing I love about the Traitors, they be cussing and stuff on there, so don't get bleeped out. And there's that. So yeah, I say all this to say that's their list according to Out, and I want to hear from you guys. Who do you think you would like to see from that list on the Traitors next season? Also, who did they not mention that you would like to see on the Traitors? I really hope that they decide to step their pussy up next season and follow through what Frankie Grande and Peppermint had to say in their recent open letter to the industry, where it was talking about, yeah, we need a little bit more inclusion and diversity in regards of queer personalities in reality TV spaces, because that's where a lot of people get to root for and actually like certain people, when you get to see how different they are, and that we're all not a monolith, and we're all not scary or coming to molest your children or whatever the kind of psychotic thoughts that y'all get in y'all head. So we would like to say, I hope they really put more than one Drag Race girl on next season. So I definitely want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. And speaking of comments, we got a whole lot, so let's scroll up. The Trump Middle East vote has a Shane saying that land basically destroyed. Oh yeah, I didn't read those. He said, "No, it's not just you. I thought Wade was gay as fuck. That's why I at first thought his tryst with Britney was approved." He probably still going through that. I believe international dancers aren't all gay, but the ones from our country, I think that's pretty obvious, especially the dancers for the divas are majority queer, with the token straight guy like Oliver from Blonde Ambition tour. Oh yeah, I remember that, because it was like they only had one and they was all trying to get him. It was like, we don't believe you straight. The Megyn Kelly show won Best Political Podcast. What are they, high? There was some people in there that I was questioning, like, really? They got the vote? Like Best Rock Album went to Linkin Park. I'm like, really? I don't know anybody that listened to that album. I listened to it once and I was just like, okay, whatever. And Katya, oh, you said lesbian Teletubby. Oh yeah, she did look like a lesbian Teletubby. Doda gives up the hair give up the hair accessory. Give it up. No shade. Gay men love problematic divas. I guess we do, to a degree. I need a show where Trisha got a ball gag in her mouth. She is so annoying. That makes sense, perfect sense why Katy Perry put out her music video for one annoying broad to another. I did see Frankie is putting out an album. Okay, well I'll be willing to open up and listen to it. But child, why you sign a record deal? Frankie is signed to a 5-album deal with Republic Records, the same as his sister, and is getting called out because of Ariana. She got him the deal. they fail to realize he already had a name himself. He absolutely did. And I feel like a lot of people aren't realizing that. And they feel like because she became the bigger star, that he's riding her coattails. But what you mad for? If the music is trash, don't listen to it. If the music is good, support it. Why can't other people have success and eat? It's kind of like, Kylie and her sister Danny. They each have they're famous in their own right. Yeah, Kylie's the more famous sister out of the two, and that's because Kylie didn't settle down and have a family and all this other stuff. She put her career before everything else, which in a way I guess is why she suffered from not having a family and all this other stuff. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, Frankie had his own identity, he had his own name. He was known in like he was known for the theater, in the theater community. He was known in TV spaces and that sort of thing. And we'll see if the music actually does what needs to be done. If he gives us some of that good gay dance music, which I think is the direction he's going to go into based on that first single that he released in the music video, then I think then I was like, okay, you're on the right track. I was asking because I heard that Adam Lambert told me that he's going to go back into working on new music. And they was talking about he's going more into doing like more Broadway type stuff. I said, please don't. Like, don't go to Lady Gaga direction where you abandon your pop roots and then all of a sudden go into this sound. And then you're going to piss off the fans. I'm like, can you give us a little bit more like afters? Because I was getting my life with that EP. But anyway. So where we going with the rest of the show? I was like, let me close everything out to make sure that I have all my ducks in a row, because we are down to our final topic. And let's get into this tea about UK versus the world. Now, last week, if y'all saw that ET video or interview with RuPaul, where she was basically talking about how, like, she was promoting her House of Hidden Meanings book, which is now in paperback. I got the hardcover. I bought that book when it first came out, but now it's in paperback. So he's been out promoting the book and was revealing that he had just came back from shooting the UK show. I'm trying to remember if he mentioned UK versus the world and he shot UK, but he said they're about to start shooting RuPaul's Drag Race season 18 in a couple of weeks. I don't know what them couple of weeks are. It doesn't mean that's going to be in April or whatever, but that's TBD. Now, according to Pink News, they out here saying that RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World season 3, they already got lined up the rumored cast of queens that are going to appear on this upcoming season. So in 2022, fans watched as the inaugural season of RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World was won by Blue Hydrangea in the International Rumble, and then later that year, when the first iteration of Canada's Drag Race, Canada versus the World, was won by Raja O'Hara. Flash forward 2 years, and Tia Coffee has succeeded Miss Hydrangea, and Lemon has succeeded Raja in the respective second seasons of their spinoffs. But while Lemon's crown looks set to be in place a little while longer, we're not getting Canada versus the world? The third season of UK versus the world has already filmed, as confirmed by Mother Rule. Okay, so I was like, I could have sworn she said that UK versus the world was already filmed, because she did say that last week. That means, of course, that the Nancy Drews of drag and the internet have been scouring the social media presence and gigs, or lack thereof, of former Drag Race competitors around the globe, and they pulled together a list of queens who recently went off grid and then back online at the same time. Suspicious. This, of course, all speculation, as the third season of UK versus the World has not even been confirmed by the BBC yet. But in the meantime, here's who the internet thinks will be on potential season 3 of the international spinoff. Now, interestingly, after season 2 cast of 11 queens, season 3 has allegedly dropped a queen, making it 10 strong, featuring a Drag Race UK season 6 girl and US All-Star and some much-needed global representation. And the only franchise with more than one competitor is the UK. So the first queen that we're going to get into is Fontana, who is from Drag Race Sverige. I've never even seen that season, so I don't even know who she is. So, or how you even say the name. Is it Sverige? So just from the first season of that show. Now Fontana was a runner-up in the first and only season of Drag Race. Oh, so it's they canceled it. I never know that. So it was basically, child, why didn't y'all call the shit Drag Race Sweden? So yeah. So she basically lost out the crown to Admira Thunderpussy. Or Admira Thunderpussy. That's such a funny name. And just beating Global All-Stars Vanity Vane. Now, the Brazilian queen nabbed one challenge, win the makeover, and was only in the bottom two once, making her fierce competitor for the crown. She's also the original runner-up of the rumored cast and the second Drag Race Sweden competitor to return for a second round after Vanity, who could the spin-off what do y'all even proofread when y'all read? So could the spin-off be looking for some support to restart? Well, I guess maybe they're gonna give these girls a chance because don't nobody know who them Sweden girls are. Now the next person that they have up in here is Godland. So they went on to say that yes, God Land, this queen from season 3 of Drag Race Thailand, which only aired in late 2024, finished as 3rd/4th place runner-up. That's right, more stiff competition is coming to the UK. Now, Godland snatched 2 challenge wins of her season in the musical and in the makeover and never landed in the bottom 2 on the show. Now, she narrowly missed out on the crown. Godland is sure to come up into the workroom swinging if the rumors are true. Now, I didn't really watch Drag Race Thailand either, so I have no idea who she is. But okay, we'll see if she makes it onto the show. Now, this show I did watch because I do love the UK. So they talk about Kate Butch, and I did like Kate Butch. I like Kate Butch out of drag. I like Kate Butch in drag. So the fan favorite of Drag Race UK season 5, Kate Butch, who finished in 5th, is rumored to be back for a go at the versus the World Crown. Kate charmed viewers with a campy aesthetic and sharp wit, grabbing the challenge win before an unceremonious elimination in the show's Switchboard Makeover episode, which seemed particularly tough given that the episode was for charity. Kate was the final victim of the season's lip-sync assassin, Delicious, so without Crystal Versace's drag sister in the house, she could have a clear shot at victory as one of 3 UK girls allegedly competing. Now, hold on, because now I just lost my damn place because I decided to scroll all the way up. Now we're gonna get to a Drag Race US girl, and that will be, and that, I live for her, and I'm hoping that she actually is on the show. So apparently they said Mariah Paris Balenciaga, who gives mug for days. So now they said if she is on the show, we'd prepare to gag on her eleganza for the 3rd time. Now, Mariah put her stamp on the 3rd ever season of RuPaul's Drag Race in 2011, nearly 15 years ago when she placed 8th. Then she returned for All Stars 5 and placed 8th again, but both times her elimination was widely hailed by viewers as too soon. If this cast list remains accurate, it will be the first of 5 versus the World Queens to only feature one queen from the flagship franchise. Now, y'all know I don't particularly care for Canada because I think a lot of those girls over there irritate me. However, if this chick is on the show, I'm definitely watching. My Linda Verga. Now, I live for her. And she was like my favorite on the season that she was on. So she is fucking Vivienne Westwood inspired, and she is here to feel her goats. Because she got me when she said feeling her goats. My Linda Verga is allegedly back again, and we couldn't be happier. Now, Miss Verga made some of the most memorable moments on Canada's Drag Race history, featuring her during her time on its 4th season, winning the Snatch Game and causing some iconic fights in Untucked. Sadly, she sashayed away in 5th place, just missing the finale, but has since been on the Traitors in Canada, so she has even more time to polish those reality TV muscles. So I haven't even seen Canada's version of the Traitors, but I did hear that she was on that, and I didn't even get to see her on there. But anyway, so I hope she's actually on the show because I like Marlena. Now, the next person they got is Minty Fresh from Drag Race Philippines, the 1st season. So now another queen who placed 5th on her original season. Minty Fresh is following in the footsteps of season 2 fan favorite Marina Summers, who we all love, by the way, by bringing Filipino or Filipino drag excellence to the UK. Minty, not to be confused by Sminty, has two challenge wins under her corset. This season's premiere talent show and a ball, and survived 2 lip syncs before being eliminated. She's also, if we're being blunt, fierce as fuck. So I would definitely like to see her on there. Now, we do have a Mexican queen that's going to be coming on, and they said, or allegedly, Serena Morena, who is from Drag Race Mexico season 1, the season that Valentina was hosting before she was ousted and they brought in a new girl. Now, Serena Morena made history by appearing in the inaugural season of Drag Race Mexico, and also by spending 4 out of her 5 episodes on the show either being in the bottom 2 or low. The queen originally from Aguas Calientes, who was also judged by Valentina, meaning she's already had a taste of some stern words from a drag glamazon. So she's basically saying that she's well prepped to be in front of Mama Room and getting that critique. Now, we did mention Sminty. So Sminty Drop is actually, so we got Minty and Sminty, who's allegedly going to be on the same scene together. Can you imagine the tongue twister Rue's going to be having to get when she's differentiating the two or talking about those two if they on the same show together? So it's Mother Tuck and Sminty Drop back in the house. Maybe. Sminty was one of the look queens of season 4 of Drag Race UK. It was eliminated in 9th place, far too early, in our opinion. Now, though she didn't manage to nab a challenge win, she was in the top twice before her elimination and got a mini challenge win, and her first 2 runways of the season were unbeatable. Now, Sminty's Come Alive verse also still lives rent-free, so a potential UK versus the World Girl Group challenge is going to hate to see her coming. So, she'd be a good addition to the show. Now, who else? Now, we got Miss Naomi, a.k.a. the only Naomi from Drag Race Belgique season 1. Now, if you were wondering whether there would be any more Naomis in the Drag Race universe, this queen has your answer. No, she is the only one. But I was about to go, unique? She's the only one. She is one of one. Naomi appeared on the first and only season of German drag-centric spin-off Drag Race Belgique and was eliminated in 10th place by Global All-Stars Tessa Testicle. She was saved for the first 2 episodes before the elimination, meaning that her only critiques were negative ones. So we can't wait to see what she brings in a possible return. Because I do think it'd be a good idea of, these girls who haven't had the opportunity to really shine in so many ways. You see how much they've grown and evolved over the years and see if they've actually gotten better. They know what to expect when they come on trial for other shows. So now, last but certainly not least, we have Zahira Zapanta from Drag Race UK season 6. And as I said, Zahira, though this 10th place diva only just left the workroom after competing on Drag Race UK season 6, it seems like she's already back for a redo. Now, Zahira charmed viewers and her fellow cast during her criminally short time on the season before surprisingly stumbling into the bottom of a girl group challenge. She also yelled, "Let me come in you," during a recording session for the track in front of Alexander Burt, so we can't wait for a potential round 2. So, as I've stated before, this is not, this is strictly rumor. We don't necessarily 110% know if this is an actually accurate list. But I always forget, because I talk about these things so much, I never cease to remember. Okay, now when we spill who's actually on these shows, how accurate does the list actually turn out to be versus the rumored list? So there you have it. I say all this to say to you guys, what do you think of this story? Do you think that these queens are going to be on the show? I mean, are you actually here for the girls that have been announced and are allegedly going to be on the show, the ones I just mentioned? Some of the girls, I'm seeing all these Asian girls, I'm like, why don't y'all try out for the other show that they got coming out with the spinoff show, which is going to be like a Versus the World, but with Asian girls? But then again, this is probably, they filmed all this before that announcement or that show was actually being brought forth. But I'm like, look, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, they could probably, if they don't get on this one, they could trial for that other show, and we'll see if they, can get a go at that one. So yeah, I want to hear from you guys on if you think this list is accurate, and if not, who do you think that you would like to see, or who would you like to see in general on a UK versus the world season that's supposed to be coming up now that Rue has said it's already been wrapped. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. You said Rue said a couple of seasons in the UK. Well, yeah, Rue said a couple of seasons, then that means he shot UK versus the world, and he shot the next season of Drag Race UK. Because you can fill all that out. I don't know if Monet Exchange would want to even do Drag Race anymore. I think she was recently asked about that, and I think she said she was pretty much done with it. I think a lot of the veteran Drag Race girls are pretty much done, and I think that maybe, some of them have said the only way a lot of them will come back is if it's in the form of like a judge or something or another. And I definitely would like to see it in that context of, yeah, I wish, like, if I had a show that was like a RuPaul's Drag Race type, you best believe I would not mind having queens from the past who have become icons in their own way come on and be a judge for a challenge, or have like, if you do a dance or choreography challenge, bring in Alyssa Edwards. If you're doing a roast challenge, bring in a Bianca Del Rio. If you're doing a girl group challenge, you could bring in Jan or Rose, because at one point they were part of a girl group. I think I'm trying to remember, Britta Filter was in that group too. I'm trying to remember. I'm probably not, but who was in a group called Stephanie's Child. So you have them on and you can have them do that. So I would have incorporated a lot of the queens from the show into doing certain challenges rather than, we have to bring in a celebrity. It's like our show was our own thing. We create the celebrities. Celebrities are just, How about an international All Winners All Stars? I would love to see it in All Winners show. The people just gotta be willing to do it. This cast is a chop. Season 2 of UK vs. the World was filmed in early 2023 and didn't air until spring of 2024. So you saying we gonna get a late one? Well, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I was a little underwhelmed by the girls, but we'll see. I hope we get. If it's a UK versus show, should there be a lot of UK girls that are gonna be on the show, and then you kind of spread it out a little bit? And I guess the queens are catching on that they always crown a queen from the same country, with the exception. Yeah, which is why I feel like when they did the Raja thing, they had to do the Jimbo thing on our shores. Marvel wants their costumes back. It's Sweden, as calling it Drag Race Sweden would imply the show would be in English. Sverige is how you pronounce the country in the Swedish language. Okay, come on, international English teacher. They done stole your thunder. Okay. If any American queen is on this boring cast, I'm glad it's Mariah. I doubt the BBC would want to crown her, but she carries this whole cast, and they pulled a very early season queen too. I watched Drag Race Mexico as it was airing, and Selena was boring. So you definitely not feeling this season. Naomi times 300. First of all, shout out to Naomi Smalls, because Naomi Smalls been giving me my life over there on Race Chasers. I don't know if she a permanent co-host on there, or is it just for season 17? Because I've been living for her shade over there. No girls from Italia. Fortunately, it's almost always accurate. The rumor cast is almost always 100% accurate, but the challenge lip sync song celebrity guest judges are always scrambled. I think Monet would do good on the you talking about the Traitors? I think it's about Drag Race. I was like, no, I definitely could see Monet possibly doing it. First of all, if Bob did it and Bob probably told her of her experience, I could definitely see Monet wanting to do the Traitors. I would like to see Monet do the Traitors. So now that you said the Traitors, I'm like, yeah. But I thought you were talking about Drag Race. I was like, oh no, she's done with Drag Race. I think a lot of the legends are done. The veterans. Naomi Smalls is guest hiding a twink pageant Oh, you meant guest hiding or guest hosting? You said guest hosting a twink pageant in my city in a few weeks. I want to go, but I'm not 21. Wait, what's a twink pageant? Is that kind of like is that like when we judging twinks, or is it like a drag pageant for twinks? I said, not Naomi out here hiding the twinks. Can you imagine? That would be a cackle. Yeah, because I'm like, I think I've heard of them doing like twink pageant type of things, and I think they did one at $3 bills, something or another. I've heard of them, but I don't know what they really are. But I'm guessing it sounds like what it is to get a bunch of twinks and you judge them, like best ass contest or something. All right, y'all. So we're at the end of today's show. I want to thank you all for tuning into the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Definitely hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I will be back on tomorrow with a brand new episode and the latest messy hot topics. I don't know what time though, because the dog's got to go to the vet. So I'm going to be with them tomorrow morning. So as soon as I get back and I can construct the show together, y'all will get one. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for constantly being in the comments, kicking with me per usual. And until next time, ciao, darlings.